The first thing a man does after being reborn back to before the doomsday arrives. He actually spent $1 million to buy a native dog. Onlookers all thought this kid was crazy because this native dog is worth at most $500. The boss also asked the young man if he was joking. But before he could finish his sentence, Chen transferred the cheese to him right away. He knew deeply that no one would understand his actions at this moment, because only he knows now. In another month, the cheese will turn into waste paper. An unprecedented zombie apocalypse disaster will break out worldwide. By then, 80% of the population will mutate into zombies. But among the remaining humans, a small portion have awakened abilities. Some have awakened element abilities, while others have awakened physical enhancement abilities. Chen, on the other hand, has awakened the extremely rare spatial ability, possessing top-tier talent in both combat and self-preservation. However, a very small number of animals have also undergone evolution, awakening abilities. And this wild dog is one of them. Moreover, it is the Thunder and Lightning King, ranked first in the Thunder class, the last animal in the apocalypse that has not been infected. Therefore, it has also become a sought-after food source for all survivors. There are not too many people who want to eat its meat. But without exception, all these people died tragically under its Thunder ability. Except Chen, who used his unique skill Void Step to take down its dog life. He successfully ate the dog meat. And this skill has also enabled him to easily escape from the surround of zombies countless times. Chen, who possesses spatial ability, can be said to have survived to the extreme in the apocalypse. Unfortunately, he survived until the end. He only realized that he had outlasted all the survivors. At this point, the entire world has fallen to the zombies. No second human can be found anymore. He, unwilling to be lonely, eventually dug a hole and buried himself alive. Unexpectedly, he was reborn after death and returned to before the outbreak of the apocalypse. Despite all his power vanishing at this moment, the ability space he opened in the previous life still exists. Since he was given another chance at life by the heavens, he was also granted the ability space that could stop the flow of time. So Chen decided to start hoarding crazily to prepare for the impending apocalypse, and the most scarce resource during the apocalypse is food. Soon, the dishes and drinks ordered by Chen from various hotels were delivered. At this moment, everyone is checking the delivery list with him. Boss Chen, the steamed baby lamb, steamed bear paw, steamed deer tail, roasted mandarin duck, roasted spring chicken, roasted young goose, braised pork, braised duck, soy sauce chicken, and Chinese preserved pork that you requested. 500 portions of each dish have been moved to the warehouse as per your request. After receiving the inventory list, Chen expressed his gratitude for everyone's hard work today. I will settle the bill for you right away. The few people then counted the cheese in their hands, while mocking the person for not using their brain properly. They wondered how one person could finish all the food and drinks they bought. On such a hot day, if they didn't finish it today, it would all go bad by tomorrow. Facing the ridicule from the crowd, he ignored them, and immediately stored the food in the ability space for preservation. But just at this moment, he suddenly received a phone call. The frantic voice on the other end of the phone said, Chen, you little brat. Come to the company immediately. I have something to ask you. After hanging up the phone, a wicked smile appeared on Chen's lips. He hadn't expected to receive the message so quickly. However, Uncle, I'm not so naive this time. Shortly after, Chen arrived at Chen Enterprises Corporation. At that moment, all he saw was Uncle shouting sternly, Why did you transfer 4 billion shares at a low price of 1 billion without discussing such a major matter with Uncle? Do you have any regard for me, your elder? If you have any difficulties, you should talk directly to Uncle. Chen was speechless at the words, secretly thinking that this uncle really knows how to act. If it weren't for his son flinch and admitting it in person, I really wouldn't believe it. The real murderer who killed my parents turned out to be this uncle. He even used his position to gradually take over the shares my parents left me. Thinking of this, Chen grinned and said, I know Uncle dotes on me the most. I don't have any difficulties. It's just that I have a premonition. The price of pork will continue to soar. It's not impossible for it to reach 110 yuan per kilogram. I am currently hoarding pork with 1 billion. By then, it can be turned into 10 billion. This deal will not lose money. Uncle was immediately shocked and lost color upon hearing this. He immediately said, Are you crazy, kid? This is not how business is done. How about this instead? Uncle will invest 1.5 billion to buy your shares. But Chen said that the other party has already paid. Why don't you go directly to that person and ask if they are willing to sell, Uncle? But at that moment, Chen's phone suddenly rang. Seeing this, Chen immediately left the office, citing that he needed to answer the phone. After answering the phone, he heard the person on the other end speaking anxiously. Boss Chen, the black country dog that you entrusted us to find has been located. I will send you the address right away. Shortly after, Chen arrived in a hurry at a dog meat restaurant. So the scene from the beginning unfolded. What he did not expect was, this little guy is also very spiritual. Knowing that it was Chen who saved it, it immediately wagged its tail obediently at him. Chen was overjoyed by this. He thought that this time, taming Thunder and Lightning King seemed to be a sure thing. He then took the dog with him in his Ferrari. He touched the dog's head and said, From now on, I will call you Thunder King. I will definitely provide you with good food and drink in this lifetime. After saying that, he drove away. He quickly returned to the entrance of his residential area. Looking at the strong man standing guard at the entrance, Chen felt a mix of emotions. This person is named Pillar Su. In a previous life, he and Chen had a deep bond of friendship. In the early stages of the apocalypse, Pillar Su sacrificed himself to protect Chen, who had not awakened his ability, and retreated. With just his own strength, he managed to hold off more than a dozen zombies, buying precious time for his escape. In the end, he died tragically in the midst of a swarm of zombies. Chen looked at the man in front of him and secretly swore, Brother, rest assured. I will never let tragedy repeat itself in this lifetime. I will make sure you can drink and eat heartily. He is clearly the strongest camper in Apocalypse. But he only wants to seek death with all his heart. It's not because he is too weak, but because he is already invincible. With his explosive teleportation ability, he can be said to pass through the midst of 10,000 troops without a scratch. He breaks into the zombie army as if entering an uninhabited land. But he managed to survive until the end. Only then did he realize that he had outlasted everyone else. Here the whole world has completely collapsed. No longer could a second human like him be found. He, who had nothing to live for, ultimately chose to bury himself alive. But to his surprise, he was reborn back to before the outbreak of the Doomsday. And he also retained the ability space that he developed in his previous life. So he decided that this lifetime, he would live in a different way. He absolutely couldn't live a lonely existence like in the previous life until the extinction of the human race. He is going to start hoarding supplies like crazy. Then recruit strong individuals to establish his own power. But the first one he wants to win over is actually a dog. Don't be fooled by its harmless appearance now. It is the Thunder and Lightning King in Apocalypse that makes all the zombies tremble in fear. In the past, someone ranked ability users from various factions. Chen naturally ranked first in the Spatial class. In Flame class, the top spot goes to the person nicknamed Blood Rose, the Fire Princess. The champion of Thunder class is this dog. Soon, the detective commissioned by Chen found the Thunder King. So he splurged $1 million to buy it from the dog's owner. Then he found Pillar Su, who had a life and death bond with him. In the previous life, he retreated to protect Chen, who had not awakened his ability. He single-handedly held off more than a dozen zombies, and as a result, he perished in the siege of the zombies. So, in order to repay this kindness, in this lifetime, Chen insists on ensuring that he lives a life of luxury and extravagance. At this moment, he spoke in a deep voice. "Pillars, do you have time after work? How about accompanying me to the bar for a drink or two?" But who knew this silly boy immediately declined Chen's invitation on the spot. He said that his mother had taught him, since he was young, that offering kindness without reason would only lead to trouble, either wicked or thieving. "Brother Luke, you better go by yourself. After all, we are not familiar with each other." At this moment, Chen only realized with deep regret that he became brothers with Pillars so only after the outbreak of the disaster. So, after exchanging a few cold words with Pillars briefly, he then drove away. After returning home, he first gave Thunder King a bath. Then he began to plan his next steps. He wanted to establish his own power. First and foremost, he needed to accumulate a large quantity of supplies. Rice, vegetables, salt, fruits, and seeds are indispensable. Medicines, engines, and tools are also essential. And the most important is drinking water, because after the doomsday arrives, water sources will be contaminated, and there is no way to purify it. To drink safe water in the apocalypse, people can only wait for rain. Next is to put those strong contenders in the apocalypse under surveillance in advance. Anyway, who will shine in the future will be crystal clear. But just at this moment, Chen suddenly thought of one more important thing to prepare. That is the stun baton. This is a divine weapon before the awakening of ability, because zombies are particularly afraid of electricity. Thinking of this, Chen immediately took out his phone and started frantically placing orders. High voltage stun gun. Alloy armor. 100 sets of each. No more weak starts. I'm kicking things off as the Supreme MC. Before the apocalypse descends. The man sold his shares worth 4 billion at a low price of 1 billion. Then he started crazily hoarding a large amount of supplies. Not only did he spend millions to buy a local dog, he also hired a cook at a high price to teach him how to cook. Everyone thought he was a rich spendthrift who had more money than sense. Little do they know, he is actually playing a grand game-changing strategy. He is stockpiling resources to establish his own power in the apocalypse. Then he will recruit all the strong individuals in the apocalypse under his command. However, the first ones he approached were a pair of sisters. Don't be fooled by their petite and cute appearance. They are significant figures in the apocalypse. The elder sister, Flames Me, is the combat powerhouse of Flame class ability users. She is also nicknamed Blood Rose Fire Princess. The younger sister, Purple Me, is even more remarkable. She is a very rare light class ability user. Although her combat ability is almost zero, she possesses powerful auxiliary and healing abilities. Later on, she will awaken the resurrection ability. So he wants to take down this pair of sisters no matter what. So Chen immediately ordered a private detective to investigate their information. It is important to find out what they like to eat, because he knows deeply that to capture a woman's heart, he must first capture her stomach. Moreover, after the outbreak of the doomsday, food will become very scarce. If I can provide them with delicious food every meal, who can resist such temptation? The detective quickly figured out the sisters' eating habits in detail. The older sister, Fire Princess, especially loves spicy Sichuan cuisine. Her favorite fruit is grapes. The younger sister, Purple Me, loves eating braised pig's trotters and fish. Her preferred fruit is watermelon. Upon receiving this information, Chen immediately started hoarding food for the two sisters according to their preferences. At this moment, there are only 7 days left until the apocalypse arrives. The batch of custom-made alloy armor and high-voltage batons that Chen ordered a few days ago. The supplier unexpectedly delivered the goods to him a week early. This made him extremely happy. With these equipments at hand, he can easily beat up low-level zombies before his abilities awaken. In the following days, Chen received more than 10,000 units of supplies one after another. After finishing these tasks, Chen called his uncle. "I have a big deal to discuss with you. I guarantee it will be profitable. Let's talk in detail when we meet later. After hanging up the phone, Chen wore a sly smile. He thought it was time to settle accounts with his wealthy uncle. The day the apocalypse comes is the day I seek justice for my parents. And now, there are only 3 hours left before the outbreak of doomsday. Chen then took Thunder King to Uncle's residence. When passing by the entrance of the community, Chen even parked the car specifically to remind Pillars Sue to be very careful around 8 o'clock. After saying that, he drove away. After arriving at Uncle Ty's house, Chen, his cousin, warmly said, "You haven't had breakfast yet, have you? Come, let's eat and chat. Father has been waiting for you in the dining room for a long time." However, once Chen sat down at the table, he immediately began his crazy elaborate rice dish mode. He did not mention a word about the so-called big deal. At this point, Uncle quickly pretended to care and said, "Chen, slow down your eating. Don't choke. Later, talk to Uncle about that deal of yours. That's a sure win and no loss." But just then, a sudden and shrill cry of misery came from the kitchen. So, Uncle hurriedly asked Chen to go over and check the situation. Upon seeing this, Chen immediately got up and followed suit. He said, "I'll also go take a look and see if there's anything I can help with." At this moment, Chen had also opened the door. But when he saw the scene in front of him, he was immediately scared and sat on the ground. I saw the maid who had turned into a zombie, hungrily gnawing on the butler's body. The next moment, the zombie who heard the noise turned its head and lunged towards Chen. This frightened him, and he immediately stood up to block the zombie with the door. However, just as the door was about to close, a hand suddenly grabbed the door panel. This man tried to show off by attempting to drive a Ferrari with one hand for the first time. The result was the outbreak of doomsday. But he not only didn't feel surprised, but also appeared particularly happy. It turns out he was reborn before the outbreak of doomsday. He not only gained an infinitely large supernatural storage space, he also stocked up billions of resources in advance. But when Chen saw his cousin being attacked by zombies, he suddenly grabbed a door plank. Then he reached behind and pulled out a stun baton to shock it unconscious. Then unhesitatingly threw him to feed the zombie. Chen, who saw this scene, was suddenly shocked and shouted, "Chen, you beast! Today I will fight you!" But before he could finish his sentence, he was immediately knocked to the ground by Chen with a backhand blow. At this moment, Chen, who was being bitten by a zombie, was desperately begging Chen to save his life. In response, Chen not only did not lend a helping hand to him, instead, he even kicked away the hand that was extended to him. He looked at his cousin, whose flesh was being gnawed by zombies, until it was blurry. Chen, on the other hand, smiled and said, "How can such a touching scene be without an audience?" After saying that, Chen immediately shouted to Chen on the side, "Wake up, uncle! Quickly get up and see your son for the last time." Seeing Chen being torn apart by zombies, and no longer recognizable, Chen was heartbroken. He quickly begged Chen to save your cousin Chen, and stated that the matter of seizing your family property has nothing to do with your cousin. It was all my doing. Upon hearing this, Chen snorted coldly. "Don't tell me, uncle, you haven't done anything else that disappointed me." As soon as this was said, Chen was stunned in place. He secretly wondered if he also knew about that matter. Seeing this, Chen grabbed uncle's clothes and said, "Have you figured out how to answer me? Cousin can't hold on much longer." Seeing that he was about to give in, Chen immediately said in frustration, "Thinking about the bond between uncle and nephew, if you help me now, I can guarantee not to call the police on you. Otherwise, don't blame uncle for turning ruthless." When Chen still showed no response, Chen angrily scolded Chen as a beast worse than a pig or dog. But before he finished scolding him, Chen slapped him across the face with a loud smack. "I think the beastly animal is you, right? After your investment failed and went bankrupt, my parents not only helped you pay off all your debts, they also gave you 15% of Chen Enterprises Corporation shares for free, making you the second largest shareholder after my father. But how do you repay my parents? I won't mention taking over my father's Chen Enterprises Corporation. You also hired someone to create a car accident to harm my parents. I'm not falsely accusing you of this, am I? Upon hearing this, Jian Chen immediately shouted, "How did you know?" His words had just fallen when Luke Chen directly threw him towards the zombie behind him. After a series of terrifying screams, Jian Chen and his son took away the freshly made box meals one after another. But at this moment, the zombie suddenly turned the gun and lunged towards Luke Chen. But unexpectedly, it pounced onto the electric baton. The electric baton instantly gave it a shock, leaving it charred inside out. But Luke Chen did not stop there. Instead, he stabbed Zombie in the forehead with a backhand strike, because he knew there was something good hidden in Zombie's forehead. The next second, Luke Chen retrieved a crystal from Zombie's head. Although this thing is useless now, it will be very useful after awakening. The man only used 50 kilograms of cheap gold, just exchanged for a valuable electric stick with the boss. Everyone thinks he is a foolish idiot, because this electric stick is worth at most 200 yuan. Little do they know that the end of the world will break out in 5 minutes. By then, gold will be worth less than scrap iron. And the electric baton is a divine weapon for dealing with zombies. Indeed, after the apocalypse arrives, Luke Chen defeated a zombie with a high-voltage stun baton. He then extracted a crystal from the zombie's head. After the outbreak of the apocalypse, both zombies and ability users will form a crystal in their heads. The energy contained in the crystal can not only accelerate the recovery of ability users, but also enable them to level up. The larger the crystal, the stronger the energy it contains. So from the size of the crystal obtained from Luke Chen, it appears to be just a low-level one. He then prepared to return to the car to pick up Thunder King, as leaving it alone outside would indeed be too dangerous. However, just as he walked over, Luke Chen noticed a zombie lurking suspiciously next to his car. The next second, that zombie lunged towards Luke Chen with its teeth and claws bared. Seeing this, Luke Chen remained calm. He casually pulled out an electric baton from his backhand. He directly struck it with a spark accompanied by lightning. Immediately, he took the crystal from the zombie's head. But when Thunder King saw his master risking his life to save him, it was instantly moved to tears. Shortly after, Luke Chen took Thunder King back to the villa again. Because after the apocalypse broke out, survivors could awaken their abilities anytime, anywhere. If they encountered a zombie when awakening, it would be game over. So before that, he must find a safe place to survive. And then Luke Chen leisurely started peeling an apple, quietly waiting for his awakening moment. But just at that moment, Thunder King suddenly started barking non-stop on the side. He turned his head to look, only to find that it was surrounded by a golden lightning. Luke Chen was so scared that he immediately took a big step back behind the sofa, because he knew this was a sign of awakening an ability. If he didn't take a step back, he would definitely be electrocuted by this creature. Soon, Thunder King completed the awakening and obtained the Thunder ability, and its intelligence was also further developed. This made Luke Chen extremely envious, just as he lamented how he was now even inferior to a dog. A sharp, piercing pain instantly spread throughout his body. Soon after, he lost consciousness and fainted. He didn't know how long it passed. He trembled as he slowly got up from the ground. Immediately, he eagerly tested his abilities. At this moment, Luke Chen waved his hand, and a burst of spatial power instantly shot out, directly smashed a hole in the wall. But Luke Chen seemed very lost, because with his current damage, he can't even kill the lowest level zombie in one hit. So the top priority is to absorb as many crystals as possible to level up. Ability users' levels are generally divided into level 1 to 10. After level 10, they can challenge the king level. In the previous life, Chen and Thunder King were both ability users of King level. However, after he absorbed Thunder King's crystal, his level advanced to another level. Unfortunately, after that, Chen, unable to bear the loneliness, chose to end his own life. So he said he would not let the tragedy happen again in this lifetime. Then Chen started training Thunder King. It must first become familiar with its abilities before taking it out to hunt zombies under Chen's guidance. The Thunder King, which gained a secondary development of wisdom, is very quick to master the newly awakened thunder ability. Chen immediately put on the alloy armor and swaggered out of the villa with the Thunder King. This is a mutt worth over 100 million. Even Pikachu is just a little brother in front of it. Just because it awakened the thunder ability that's even more badass than 100,000 volts. Although the damage of the thunder spell is indeed astonishing. But unexpectedly, Thunder King cast Thunder Spell for the first time to deal with the zombie. Instead, it ended up striking emptiness directly. This dealt a heavy blow to the Thunder King, who had just awakened its ability. Seeing this, Chen immediately comforted it not to be discouraged. "You first helped me lead those two zombies away." Shortly afterward, Thunder King followed the owner's instructions and flew the zombie kite. And Chen walked into a nearby upscale supermarket. Then he opened a superpower space and immediately began crazily absorbing goods. This wave of zero-cost shopping not only allowed him to get a lot of food, he also unexpectedly obtained 7 or 8 pieces of crystal. And then he walked out of the supermarket contentedly. He then found Thunder King still working hard to put up the zombie kite. Although this little guy would become the famous Thunder and Lightning King in the future, at this moment, it couldn't handle so many zombies alone. So Chen immediately joined the battle. After dealing with this group of zombies, Chen then took Thunder King to a nearby large cold storage facility. The early stage of the apocalypse is a great time to gather supplies. So how could Chen possibly let this golden opportunity slip by? Soon, a man and a dog arrived near the destination, only to find it surrounded by zombies at the moment. It seems they want to enter the cold storage. They'll have to deal with these zombies first. However, Chen just got off the car. 2 zombies snarled and lunged at him. The next second, the cute little creatures were electrocuted by Chen. But just at that moment, 3 zombies suddenly pounced on Chen from behind. Upon seeing this, he immediately performed a martial arts move called Double Dragons emerging from the sea, swiftly dispatching 2 of the zombies. But unexpectedly, at that moment, a third little cutie zombie opened its bloody mouth wide and lunged at him to bite. With a clang, the little cutie zombie then bit directly onto his armor. As a result, the little cutie zombie not only lost 2 front teeth, he was also stabbed and sent flying by Chen with a reverse baton strike. Empowered by the alloy armor and the baton, Chen can be described as moving through the enemy forces like a hot knife through butter, with nothing able to touch him. In no time at all, he easily took care of all the zombies. He reaped a rich harvest in this battle. He took down more than 6 pieces of crystal in one go. After that, Chen did not enter the cold storage directly. Instead, he found a heavy truck nearby and shouted with a mischievous grin, "Thunder King, hurry up and get on. I'll take you for a ride." Then he stepped on the gas pedal directly to the floor. He headed straight for the cold storage door at a speed of 100 yards. This really scared Thunder King on the side. It kept barking non-stop. After crashing through the gate, Chen did not slow down. Instead, he stepped on the gas pedal and crashed into the horde of zombies inside. This crazy move frightened Thunder King on the side, who exclaimed that the owner was too brutal. What Chen didn't know was, at this moment, there are 3 survivors upstairs secretly observing his every move. At this time, one of the women excitedly said, "Once he takes care of these zombies, let's ask him to take us out of here." But the man beside them disagreed, questioning why someone would help them. Looking at his behavior, it's clear that this guy is a tough one. It's obvious that he's here for our supplies. We better take action before it's too late. Let's set a trap for him and catch him off guard. Let's take him down directly later. Then we can steal his truck and supplies. At this moment, Chen has successfully taken care of the zombie army. But just as he was happily collecting the crystals, the girl suddenly walked up to Chen and said, "Thank you for saving us. Can you take us out of here?" Chen was about to ask how many people are still here. He was suddenly subdued by two men and pinned to the ground. "Son, I advise you to obediently hand over all your supplies. Otherwise, I will kill you right now," Chen said with a dark expression. He silently thought, in the apocalypse, mercy is a death sentence. This statement is not just empty talk. Indeed, kindness is the most harmful thing in this apocalypse. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being ruthless. At the same time, Thunder King immediately rushed towards the three people when he saw his master's life being threatened. Upon seeing this, Chen also took the opportunity to retrieve 2 electric batons from the ability space, even though it was his biggest secret. He absolutely couldn't let anyone find out. But Chen was confident that they would keep this secret for him. What is the most terrifying thing in apocalypse? It's not zombies. It's the human heart where good and evil are hard to distinguish. Especially those innocent-looking girls who say, "Thank you for saving me," with their mouths. Behind the scenes, she joined forces with others to push the life-saving benefactor to the ground. They also threatened him to hand over all his belongings. Otherwise, they would attack him immediately. Seeing this, Chen did not go easy on her. He quickly took out 2 electric batons from the ability space. Without hesitation, he sent the 2 little gargas straight to the underworld. The girl was so scared that she immediately turned and ran. However, Chen showed no intention of chasing after her. Instead, he chuckled and said, "Can you run faster than someone with 4 legs? Thunder King is now watching you." As soon as he finished speaking, Thunder King immediately pounced and knocked the girl down to the ground. With a flash of fire and lightning, the girl was instantly defeated. And next comes the exciting shopping spree segment. What he did not expect was, the goods here are definitely abundant and diverse. Not only is there a large amount of chicken, duck, and fish meat, but also a variety of seafood products. Even spices and condiments are fully available here. Chen was not polite either. He directly collected all these supplies into the ability space. Chen can be said to have gained a lot from this trip. He took down 7 to 8 tons of food in one go. Chen then took Thunder King to prepare to go back home first, because there is still a brother he couldn't part with there, Pillar Sue. On the way home, he met a survivor who wanted to hitch a ride. Dingqin took a look. The man still had an iron rod in his pocket. It was obvious that this guy was not a good person. So Chen stepped on the gas pedal and drove past directly. At this moment, only to hear the man angrily saying, "Kid, I'll remember you. Don't let me see you again. Otherwise, I'll kill you." Chen immediately got off the car with a gloomy face, thinking since he had such thoughts, then I'll keep you no matter what. After all, after the ability awakening, everyone has the ability to be deceitful. All threats must be eliminated at the source. And at this moment, the man had already walked over aggressively. Upon seeing this, Chen immediately kicked Thunder King. The next second, the little guy jumped off the car as if he understood what was happening. The man didn't hesitate either. He picked up an iron rod and smashed it down on Thunder King's head. At the same time, the little guy also spewed out a bolt of lightning from his mouth. The dog missed, but the man was instead electrocuted into charcoal by the Thunder King. At the moment when the man fell to the ground, Chen's voice suddenly came from behind. Thunder King must not show any mercy to the enemy in Apocalypse. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know how you died. Thunder King understood his master's intention immediately. It immediately put an end to future troubles with a single bite. Shortly after, the man and the dog drove back to the residential area, as the heavy truck could not enter. Chen was worried that this mobile fortress might be stolen by other survivors. So he came up with a clever idea. Let Thunder King attract some zombies from the area to come and show them the vehicle. After doing all this, Chen immediately enters the community to start looking for the pillars. Although Chen remembers that in the previous life, when the apocalypse came, pillars Su hid in the villa area, he cannot remember which specific building it was. So he had to shout Pillar's name loudly. Even though this would attract a large number of zombies, he was willing to risk it all for this brother, who had once sacrificed himself to save him. Pillars, who was hiding in the villa, quickly heard Chen's call. He was about to go out to meet Chen when he was promptly stopped by a girl beside him. The girl immediately said that this person must be sick. Being so loud will only attract all the nearby zombie pillars. Brother Pillars, you must not go out. He will harm us. As soon as she finished speaking, several zombies immediately ran towards this side. But the next second, all of these zombies fell under Chen's electric baton. Seeing the situation, Pillars quickly said, "Now you can rest assured, right? Brother Chen is so powerful, how could he possibly harm us?" After saying that, Pillars shouted downstairs, "Brother Chen, I'm here." Seeing that his brother was fine, Chen also showed a long-lost smile. But when he saw a girl standing next to Pillars, his expression changed. Chen's face immediately turned pale. I secretly cursed, how could I forget about silly Chen, that little bastard. In the previous life, you really caused us a lot of suffering. So in this life, don't blame me for using you to teach this silly brother a lesson. Who would have thought that this pitiful and adorable cute girl in front of us is actually a beast worse than a brute? To test if the tap water after the apocalypse is contaminated, she secretly took her savior to conduct an experiment. Every time food is distributed, she always hides a portion beforehand. Then, in front of the honest and simple Pillars, she would pretend to be almost starving, and then deceive him out of his portion. Even more despicable is that she stirs up trouble between Chen and Pillars Su, always praising one and denigrating the other behind their backs. In the previous life, these two brothers can be said to have been played in the palm of her hand. Now in his reincarnation, Chen even has the heart to strangle her. But he knows very well that it's not yet time to strike. If he kills her now, it will definitely make Pillars have an opinion of him. So he must make Pillars see the true face of this woman no matter what. Later, Chen suggested going back to his own house to rest first. Then, they can discuss the next course of action. Seeing the situation, Green Tea's sister hurried forward to strike up a conversation, saying, "Hello, Brother Chen. My name is Silly Chen. We both have the surname Chen. Maybe 500 years ago, we were from the same family." Facing her proactive friendliness, Chen did not pay attention. Instead, he directly dragged Pillars away. Although at this moment, Silly Chen was gritting his teeth in anger. But in order to survive, she still obediently followed along. After arriving at Chen's house, Pillars and Silly Chen's stomachs were growling loudly from hunger. Seeing this, Chen hastily said, "Please have a seat first. I will go get some food for you." Shortly after, Chen took out some slices of bread from ability space. Looking at Thunder King Chen beside him, an evil thought suddenly arose in his heart. "I'll make you pay for messing with my brother in your past life. Let's see how I'll deal with you today." After saying that, Chen took a piece of toast and vigorously rubbed it on Thunder King's butt. Then he handed the seasoned toast to Silly Chen, saying that it was the only food left at home because men have bigger appetites. He asked if Pillars would mind if he split it into 2 pieces. Although she said it was reasonable, she was complaining in her heart that she had also been hungry for 3 days. Why should he have an extra piece? She then indulged in the extra topping toast with great relish. This left Thunder King standing beside her in shock. It thought to itself, "This girl is truly something. She can even enjoy eating bread that has touched my butt." Chen, who saw this scene, also showed a sly smile. Although playing a prank on her can indeed relieve anger, the nuisance still needs to be dealt with as soon as possible. So Luke Chen suggested that we go to the supermarket first to get some food before figuring out how to leave here. Upon hearing this, Pillars quickly expressed that Brother Chen's plan is thoughtful. Just tell me what needs to be done, he added. At this point, Luke Chen spoke in a deep voice saying, due to the large number of zombies outside, we can only use strategy instead of brute force. How about this? Silly Chen, you lead the zombies away while Pillars and I go into the supermarket to get food. As soon as this was said, Silly Chen immediately stood still. He shouted, Brother Chen, don't do this. How can I outrun the zombies? This is sending me to my death. Upon hearing this, Luke Chen immediately said, then I will go divert the zombies while you and Pillars go to the supermarket to get food. Is that okay? Silly Chen immediately put on a pitiful look upon hearing this. I've only eaten a piece of toast in 3 days. I really have no strength left. Pillars, could you help me out and say something for me? At this moment, Luke Chen coldly said, you can't just sit back and reap the benefits without doing anything. Also, I haven't had a sip of water all day. I don't even know if the tap water has been contaminated by viruses. In that case, why don't you help us try this water to see if it's safe to drink? Silly Chen immediately became unhappy after hearing this, thinking they were trying to make a fool out of him. He muttered that they didn't even have a door. I'm just worried that the water source is contaminated. That's why I've been holding back from drinking water. Even though I still have water and food in my bag, I absolutely cannot let them know. Then she continued pitifully, Brother Chen, please don't make things difficult for me. What if this water is poisonous? Don't you have a dog? Just let it try, then you'll know. However, it was her own presumptuous cleverness that thoroughly angered the Thunder and Lightning King. The woman, who had been thirsty for 6 days, heard someone tell her to drink water. However, she showed a fearful expression on her face. He also stated that even if he were to die of thirst, he would never drink a drop of water. After the outbreak of the Doomsday, it turned out that the water sources had been contaminated by a virus. Letting her drink tap water is no different from sending her to her death. Then she had a bright idea. Pointing at a passing Thunder King, she shouted, just take this stray dog for experiments, isn't that enough? Thunder King was immediately furious upon hearing this. It immediately bared its teeth and pounced towards Silly Chen. Upon seeing this, the girl quickly held her bag in front of her. Just a ripped sound. The bag was torn open by Thunder King. Then the food inside fell out accordingly. Luke Chen wasn't polite to her either. He just picked up a bottle of drink and drank it heartily. He casually handed a piece of bread to Pillars, saying, I didn't expect this woman to have so much food hidden. Let's not be polite with her. Hurry up and eat. We need to be full before we have the energy to go to the supermarket to get supplies. At this moment, Pillars finally saw through the true face of this woman. He silently lamented that he had risked his life several times to save her. She hid so much food from me and didn't let me eat it. It's fine if she doesn't share, but she even deceived me to eat and drink from my hand every time. Thinking of these Pillars just makes him burn with anger. Then he unhesitatingly took the bread and started showing off. And at this moment, Silly Chen still wants to rush over to stop Pillars. But unexpectedly, she was tripped by Luke Chen. She fell to the ground with a thud. Then she started crying, causing a scene and threatening suicide. Who allowed you to eat my food? Spit it all out for me. At this moment, Luke Chen coldly said, Why are you crying? If we don't eat enough, how can we have the energy to search for supplies? Rest assured, we won't eat your food for nothing. We'll repay you tenfold when we come back from the supermarket. As soon as these words were spoken, Silly Chen immediately changed his tune, saying that he didn't actually not want to share the food with him. It's just that he forgot it was in his bag. Luke Chen also felt speechless after hearing this, and thought to himself that this woman can really act. If that's the case, then I will give you another dose of strong medicine. I must make my foolish brother realize the treacherous nature of human hearts. Luke Chen then patted Pillars on the shoulder and said, I'll go prepare first. Let's set off in half an hour. Afterward, Chen took Thunder King to the room and instructed it to lure some zombies to the house. He then took out a few pieces of garlic and squeezed them into juice. At that moment, the entire room was filled with a pungent smell of garlic. At this moment, Chen walked out carrying 2 bowls of garlic sauce and said, "Pillars, come and see what goodies I prepared for you." Don't be fooled by the pungent smell of this thing. It's a weapon against zombies. I saw someone wearing a string of garlic around their neck outside, and the zombies really wouldn't come near them. But now there's only enough garlic juice for 2 people. Pillars, let's sprinkle the garlic juice on ourselves before we go out. Silly Chen, you stay at home and wait for us to come back. Just then, a roar of zombies suddenly came from the doorway. Seeing this, Chen immediately poured the garlic juice on himself and urged Pillars to quickly finish the remaining bowl. The zombies are about to break in. But at this moment, this silly boy fell into contemplation. Although he now felt extremely disgusted with this woman, he still couldn't bear to watch her being bitten to death by the zombies. Little did he know, at this moment Silly Chen was staring straight at that bowl of garlic juice. Pillars was about to pick up the garlic juice and bring it over to her. However, he didn't expect that she would beat him to it. She picked up the garlic juice without hesitation and poured it over herself. Pillars, who saw this scene, was stunned on the spot. I was originally going to serve you. You actually came over and snatched it. At this moment, Chen solemnly said with emphasis, "See, brother? This is human nature." Therefore, it is said that Apocalypse must never have an overly compassionate heart, because no matter how kind you are to some people, all you receive in return is betrayal time and time again. And you vile person, do you think that splashing garlic juice on yourself will solve everything? I forgot to tell you. Actually, zombies are extremely sensitive to the smell of garlic. You're doomed today. It is well known that garlic can ward off evil spirits, but it has no effect on zombies. On the contrary, this pungent smell can attract zombie attacks. But this woman didn't even think about it. She poured a whole bowl of garlic juice over her head. It turns out it was just a moment ago. When the zombies were about to break into the villa, Chen set up a trap to expose the ugly face of this woman. He tricked her into believing that zombies are most afraid of garlic. There was only enough garlic at home for 2 people to use. When Silly Chen heard this, he immediately grabbed the garlic from Pillars and poured it over his own head. This action also made Pillars see her true colors completely. Seeing that his goal had been achieved, Chen told the woman the truth. Upon learning that he had been deceived, Silly Chen immediately shouted, "Is it wrong for me to want to live?" At this moment, Chen coldly said, "Who doesn't want to live? But you shouldn't have underestimated my brother's honesty. Feel free to bully him as you please." After saying that, Chen took out a set of equipment for Pillars from Ability Space. Asked him to quickly go to the room and put this on. The zombies will be entering soon. Upon seeing this, Silly Chen immediately begged for Chen's forgiveness this time. "In the future, I will listen to everything you say. You can do whatever you want to me." Upon hearing this, Chen immediately said, "I want you to go die." "Will you do it as I've said?" This was his response. Silly Chen immediately became furious and said, "Are you crazy? How did I offend you?" At this moment, Zombie sniffed the smell and barged into the living room. She didn't wait for her to finish speaking. 5 or 6 zombies immediately rushed towards her to bite her, while Chen stood by, watching coldly from the sidelines. He watched as the woman was completely chilled. He only took action to eliminate all the zombies. Then he called the Pillars to help clean up the scene. "Throw all these zombies out of the villa." Chen called Thunder King again. He actually assigned the task of cleaning up the blood in the living room to a dog, and warned it that it will only get food after finishing the job. After saying that, Chen called Pillars to prepare to wash up and have a meal. But Pillars insisted that we were supposed to go to the supermarket to get food. Otherwise, where would the food come from? However, before Pillars could finish speaking, A table full of delicious food appeared in front of him out of nowhere. Then Chen began to talk nonsense in a serious manner. He explained that he had awakened his spatial ability before the doomsday outbreak, because he always had an unclear premonition. So he stored a little bit of supplies in the ability space in advance. And these foods are the ones I took out from the ability space. Have you recently felt any changes in your body, Pillars? Upon hearing this, he immediately stated that he suddenly felt a splitting headache last night. After that, he felt much stronger than before. Chen told him that this was a sign of ability awakening. What you awakened is an ability of the strength class. Let's not talk about these things for now. There's a big world out there, and eating is the most important. Seeing the situation, Pillars quickly said, "Brother Chen, you're too polite, and brought out so many delicious dishes to treat me. Let's eat sparingly." But Chen said that we are all like brothers here. There's no need to be polite with me. Isn't there still food that Thunder King hasn't eaten? Let's wait for him to finish his work and invite him to eat together later. Upon hearing this, Thunder King, who was busy mopping the floor, was moved to tears. He never expected the owner to be so kind to him. Is mopping the floor really something that a dog should be doing? After having his fill of food and drink, Chen took out several pieces of crystal and handed them to Pillars so that he could absorb the energy within to enhance his own strength, and reminded him to stop immediately if he felt that his body couldn't handle it. Chen then returned to his room to absorb the crystals, to his surprise. In the past life, absorbing 8 pieces already overwhelmed his body. But this time, he absorbed 20 pieces in a row without reaching the limit. I wonder where his absorption limit will be this time. How awesome is this man really? Not only can the local dogs he raises be compared to the mythical creature Pikachu, he can instantly turn whole hordes of zombies into charcoal. He also awakened an extremely rare spatial ability. Not only does he possess the strongest teleportation skill Void Step, he can also summon the Void Sword, which inflicts explosive damage. Unfortunately, his current level is still too low to sustain summoning the Void Sword for extended battles. Just when he became a real man for only 3 seconds, he was so tired that he collapsed on the bed. You should know that this skill was only mastered at level 7 in his previous life. And in this life, he was able to barely condense the Void Sword briefly right after reaching level 2. If things continue to develop this way, perhaps in this life, he can easily master Void Step at level 4, a skill he only possessed at level 9 in his previous life. Furthermore, he might even be able to advance and develop the ultimate move, Dimensional Blade, after reaching King level. The next morning, Pillars couldn't wait to tell Chen some good news. Brother Chen, the method you taught me is really effective. After absorbing 7 pieces of crystal, my power has increased significantly. The Thunder King beside him also excitedly shouted 9 times at him, indicating that it had also absorbed 9 pieces of crystal. This stunned the Pillars. They quickly expressed, "Is this dog really this strong? It actually absorbed more than me." Chen did not respond to this question. Instead, he took out a set of equipment from the ability space and handed it to him. He said he would change into this after finishing breakfast. Let's go to the granary together to get some supplies. Later, they arrived at the parking lot in the community. They saw that the heavy truck was surrounded by zombies. Pillars immediately pulled out his stun gun ready to take action. However, he was stopped in time by Chen, who suggested leaving this minor matter to Thunder King to handle. Immediately, Thunder King swiftly went on to do what it does best. Pillars couldn't help but marvel at Thunder King's proficient technique in drawing monsters. It seemed like their own abilities were truly no match for this dog. Upon seeing this, Chen hastily comforted, "Let's not compare ourselves with dogs. There are many things they can do that we can't. Each has its own strengths." They then drove to the granary. But strangely, the granary was unusually quiet. Not even a single zombie could be seen. But they did find a skeleton not far away. This made Chen feel uneasy. Although zombies may bite humans, they absolutely do not eat people. The only creatures that can bite people so cleanly are mutated beings, such as rats or ants. And they are all social animals. So no matter which kind, their numbers will definitely not be small. Thinking of this, Chen hurriedly signaled Pillars to retreat immediately. But it was already too late. After a cacophony of squeaks, a large group of mutated rats appeared in front of them in a dark and oppressive manner. At this critical moment, Thunder King stepped forward again. It is said that the dog is overly concerned with catching mice, but it still resolutely led away the group of rats. Unexpectedly, among the group of rats, there was actually one that had become a Rat King. With the Rat King's command, all the rats immediately turned their guns and launched a fierce attack on Chen and his companion. Although the electric baton was no pressure to deal with these low-level mutant rats, but they could not withstand the overwhelming number of rats on the other side. After a fierce battle of car wheels, Chen and Pillars also began to show signs of fatigue. Soon, Pillars collapsed to the ground due to exhaustion. Seeing this, the Rat King immediately seized the opportunity. He shot towards him at a speed of 200 yards. Fortunately, Pillars reacted swiftly to block the Rat King's deadly attack. However, what he never expected was that this guy was actually immune to electric shocks. The high-voltage baton had no effect on it at all. Before he could figure out the situation, the Rat King had already mysteriously appeared in front of him. Immediately after that, this guy opened his blood-mouthed small mouth, bit directly on Pillar's neck. This rat eats 5 cats every day. When it's starving, it doesn't even spare human beings. Anyone targeted by it will meet an extremely tragic end. It turns out this is a mutated giant Fong Rat King. Its strength is comparable to a level 3 ability user. But unexpectedly, Chen and the others just entered the granary. They were immediately under attack by this group of mutated rats. However, just as they were resisting the onslaught of the rat army, the mutated Rat King suddenly launched a sneak attack on Pillars. By the time he reacted, the Rat King had already bitten him on the neck. Thanks to the alloy armor protecting his body, Pillars narrowly managed to save his life. Chen, who witnessed this scene, was greatly shocked. If this were to happen again, the armor would definitely be bitten through by this guy. So Chen immediately took out 2 pieces of steak and threw them towards the group of mice. Under the temptation of the food, the group of mice immediately swarmed towards the beef. But just then, the Rat King opened its bloodthirsty mouth again and bit towards Pillars. Upon seeing this, Chen swiftly condensed the void sword and charged towards the Rat King. At this moment, it also felt a cold killing intent from behind. Before it could escape, Chen suddenly cut it in half with a sword. The leaderless group of rats was quickly dealt with by the 2 using electric batons. Next, Chen took out a level 3 crystal from the Rat King's body. And this guy's big front teeth are also rare treasures. They are excellent materials for making weapons. Unfortunately, Chen tried to pull them out for a long time but failed. So he immediately called Pillars for help. In the blink of an eye, Pillars pulled out the 2 big front teeth from the Rat King's mouth. Chen then opened the ability space and started to crazily absorb the supplies in the granary. This astonished the nearby Pillars. They quickly asked Brother Chen how big his ability space really is. But Chen casually replied, "Not that big. Probably just as big as the Pacific Ocean. Also, Pillars must keep this secret for me. Otherwise, we will become a target of public criticism." Upon hearing this, Pillars quickly reassured, "Rest assured, Brother Chen, even if a knife is at my throat, I will not reveal a single word." Despite this trip, Chen and his team have made quite a harvest. They managed to secure tens of thousands of tons of food in one go. But through this battle, he also deeply realized the importance of strength. If he hadn't been able to briefly condense the void sword just now, I'm afraid we wouldn't have made it back from this trip today. So, after returning home, he immediately formulated a training plan. And he stated that he would not go out before becoming a level 3 ability user. In the following days, he absorbed crystals day and night to enhance his strength. With his unremitting efforts, Chen finally successfully advanced to become a level 3 ability user after 3 days. This also allowed him to extend the time of condensing the Void Sword to 20 seconds in one go. And the levels of Pillars and Thunder King have also successfully broken through to level 2. Although in the past few days, everyone's strength has made rapid progress. But the kitchen has been messed up by these big men. This inevitably reminded Chen of his chef Jade Ma. He secretly thought that if she could take care of my daily life, it would be great. This girl is not only beautiful, but also very efficient in her work. And her cooking skills are truly exceptional. Just wonder how she is doing now. I remember she was working as a chef at a nearby 6-star hotel. She should have been working at the hotel when the doomsday broke out. Thinking of this, Chen immediately suggested going to that hotel to find out more. Shortly after, the group set out on the road to find Jade Ma. However, after a search, they did manage to kill quite a number of zombies. But still, they did not see a single living person. He didn't even have the chance to find someone to ask questions. But just at that moment, a waiter suddenly appeared in their view and shouted, "Two dads, please help me!" As is well known, in the apocalypse, mercy is a death sentence. But this woman does not believe in superstition. Not only did her excessive compassion save a group of elites, she also kindly shared her own food with everyone. But who knew these animals turned on her faster than flipping a book? Not only did they not appreciate her life-saving kindness, she also complained that Jade Ma took up too much space and started a physical fight with her. Jade Ma dared to resist. The female celebrity who started the fight became even more fierce. She even instigated everyone to throw Jade out to feed the zombies, so that there would be one less person to share food with us. What Jade Ma never expected was that the group of people she just saved, no one stood up to help her, let alone all colluding with this heartless female celebrity. No matter how she begged, these scumbags heartlessly pushed her out of the room. At this moment, Jade Ma finally saw their ugly faces. She hated herself for being soft-hearted and saving these beasts in the first place. If there is anyone willing to help me vent this anger now, I am willing to pay any price. Just at this moment, 2 zombies suddenly rushed towards her, baring their teeth and claws. Seeing this scene, Jade Ma also completely gave up resistance. She closed her eyes in despair. Just at this critical moment, Chen appeared just in time, kicked the zombie away, and saved her. At this moment, Chen excitedly exclaimed, "Little chef, you are fine. That's really great. I came all the way risking my life just to rescue you. Don't be afraid. I'll take you away from here right away." Jade Ma was instantly moved by these words. A sense of security she had never experienced before surged into her heart in an instant. She was about to say something in response. She was silenced by Chen, who covered her mouth, indicating that she should speak later, because a large number of zombies have already surrounded them at this moment. Upon seeing this, the two immediately engaged in combat with the zombies. In no time at all, they swiftly and cleanly took care of all the zombies. And this scene was also witnessed by the group of people in the room. Seeing the two of them being so powerful, the female star immediately walked out of the room. Shamelessly she said, "I'm sure both of you are my fans, right? Thank you for risking your lives to save me. Love you guys." But Chen ignored her, and instead helped up Jade Ma, who was behind him. At this moment, Chen also noticed her. Jade Ma was emotionally moved upon seeing these people. Tears kept flowing uncontrollably. Surely she must have suffered some grievances. Upon that, Chen quickly asked her what had just happened. "Tell me, and I will help you sort it out." As soon as he said that, Jade Ma could no longer suppress her inner emotions and started crying loudly. Then she directly told Chen in detail what had just happened. At this moment, a man in a suit grinned and said, "Little brother, this woman is just unlucky. Don't mind her." As long as you can safely take me home, I'll give you 200,000 now. How's that? But before he could finish his sentence, Pillars directly slapped him in the face. Money doesn't make you impressive. What I hate most in my life is people like you who repay kindness with enmity. The man who was slapped in the face still wouldn't stop talking. It was indeed our fault just now. You helped your friend release some anger. Can you consider my previous proposal? Chen did not respond. Instead, he smiled and said, Originally, for how you treated my friend today, I should have taken you down on the spot. But I'm in a good mood today, so I'll spare your lives this time. I will tie you all up later. Whether you can survive or not will depend on your luck. Upon hearing this, the man in the suit immediately became furious and said, What's the difference between tying us up and killing us? Pillars immediately responded, When you threw out Jade Ma, what's the difference between that and killing her? The words scared the female celebrity so much that she knelt down on the spot, begging Chen to spare her this time. You can ask me to do anything. I can play hide and seek with you right now. But before she could finish her sentence, Chen directly used a sock that had been worn for 2.5 years to plug her stinky mouth. Then he had Pillars tie her up tightly with her hands and feet bound. Afterwards, the group swaggered out of the hotel. After recruiting Jade Ma, Chen also prepared to start establishing his own power. But before that, he must quickly recruit Fire Princess and Purple Me, the two sisters, to his side. The man only used a cheap roast duck. Just let a female tycoon worth billions become his maid. In this food-scarce apocalypse, cheese is even worse than waste paper. Only food is real currency. Some people would even trade their own bodies for a bite of steamed bread. On the contrary, Chen is exactly the opposite. Although he hoards enough food to last 10 lifetimes, he doesn't know how to cook. So Chen risked his life to rescue the chef Jade Ma from a hotel full of zombies. His actions completely moved her. Upon seeing the situation, Chen took the opportunity to extend an olive branch to Jade Ma. He said, I am currently lacking a logistics assistant, mainly responsible for taking care of our daily life. As part of the exchange, not only will I be responsible for ensuring your personal safety, but I will also provide you with 3 meals a day. Are you willing to join us? As soon as the words were spoken, Jade Ma couldn't wait to say, I'm willing. And this decision completely changed her destiny. After returning home, Chen asked Jade Ma if she had felt any changes in her body recently. Did she awaken any special abilities? Upon hearing this, Jade Ma immediately mentioned that her head suddenly hurt yesterday. Then, she felt a sudden wave of heat spreading throughout her body. As for gaining abilities, I'm not too sure about that. Chen told her that this is a sign of awakening an ability. I will now teach you how to control the ability. Subsequently, Jade Ma followed Chen's method and condensed a ball of flame in the palm of her hand. Chen was delighted by this. He secretly thought that this time he had struck gold. I didn't expect her to be an ability user in flame class. It is said that dishes cooked with ability flames will be even more delicious. So Chen couldn't wait to take out the ingredients and ask her to show off her skills. In no time, Jade Ma used her flame class ability to prepare a table full of delicious food. Seeing this, the two people and a dog immediately started to enjoy the feast enthusiastically. Everyone felt extremely satisfied after this meal. They all praised Jade Ma's cooking skills as absolutely amazing. After a satisfying meal, Chen arranged a room for Jade Ma to stay and said, If you need anything, just let me know. From now on, we are one family. In the following days, Chen absorbed crystal every day to enhance his own strength. After he absorbed all the crystals, he was just one step away from breaking through level 4 at this moment. So Chen decided to go out first to collect some crystals. Then he plans to also visit the two sisters, Purple Me and Fire Princess, along the way. It is now the 10th day after the outbreak of the Doomsday. If he doesn't extend an olive branch to them soon, someone else may get ahead of him. Shortly after, Chen called for the pillars. Then he handed 2 electric batons to Jade Ma for self-defense and gave her a few brief instructions. Chen walked out of the residential area with pillars and Thunder King. Soon they obtained more than 300 pieces of crystal by hunting down zombies along the way. And at this moment, they have also arrived at the district where the Mi sisters reside. So Chen immediately ordered Thunder King to go to the 2nd floor to check the situation. If he smells the presence of living people in the house, he should bark twice loudly. Before Chen could finish speaking, Thunder King suddenly rushed into the bushes on the side. Then it pulled out a mouse from the flower bed. Chen, a cat lover, couldn't bear to see the cute cat being harmed. He immediately signaled Thunder King not to hurt it. But just then, a cry for help suddenly entered Chen's mind. "Quickly, get your silly dog off me!" Chen, who quickly realized what was happening, immediately understood that this was a cat that had awakened the mental communication ability. Usually, only advanced psychic ability users possess this kind of ability, so it is necessary to harness it for oneself. So Chen immediately rescued the cat from Thunder King's mouth and scolded, "How could you be so rude, Thunder King?" The cat on the side also angrily rebuked Thunder King for being unfair. "I didn't provoke or offend it. Your dog came up and bit me without letting go. It's really despicable." Upon hearing this, Chen immediately echoed, "That's right, that's right. Also, little cat, are you a stray cat? Do you want to come home with me? I have plenty of fish snacks that you can't finish." But before the words were finished, a girl suddenly stood up and shouted, "This is my cat, give Rice back to me." What will happen when a cat's IQ reaches 130? It will talk, rap, sing, and play basketball. Not only that, it is also an awakened cat with psychic abilities, having the ability to sense danger in advance. Chen is determined to keep it for himself. However, just as he is about to bribe the cat with some dried fish, Purple Me suddenly appeared and snatched the cat away, shouting, "What do you want to do to our family's Rice?" But unexpectedly, Rice struggled and shouted that he was not a bad person. "Let me go!" Immediately after, Rice broke free from the restraints. He ran up to Chen and begged him for a piece of dried fish. "I have been hungry for 3 days." Upon hearing this, Chen had a sudden inspiration. He thought it would be a good opportunity to gain favor with them. If I give it directly, they will definitely think I have ulterior motives. And since they have been here for so long without seeing Fire Princess, it seems she is not at home. Then let's start with her sister, Purple Me. Chen then said that there is a large supermarket outside. How about we cooperate and go there together to get supplies? There must be dried small fish in the supermarket. Rice immediately expressed that the suggestion is very good. I can sense that he has no ill intentions. Purple Me, let's go together. But Purple Me still seems to not fully trust this stranger. At this time, Rice, feeling impatient, said, "In that case, you can just wait for me at home. I'll bring you some food when I come back." Upon hearing this, Purple Me quickly responded, "Who said I'm not going? Just wait for me here. I'll be right back." In no time, Purple Me appeared in front of everyone, wearing a pot on her head and holding a rolling pin. Chen, who saw this scene, almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. It is obvious that this girl has no experience in hunting zombies. Otherwise, she would not have come out to fight zombies dressed like this. Subsequently, the few people introduced themselves to each other. However, just as everyone was preparing to set out to gather supplies, a group of zombies suddenly rushed towards them. Seeing this, 2 big men immediately stood in front of Purple Me to protect her. And Purple Me also quickly applied buff skills to the 2 men. Instantly gave them a 30% increase in strength. Under the influence of the buff, the 2 quickly dealt with most of the zombies as easy as cutting vegetables, but just as the last zombie was about to pounce on Purple Me, Chen quickly shouted, "Step back! Leave it to me to handle." Unexpectedly, This proposal was rejected by Purple Me. She said, "I can't always hide behind my sister. Sooner or later, I have to face it myself." Seeing this, Pillars immediately handed the iron rod in his hand to Purple Me and said, "This is more useful than your rolling pin." After taking the iron rod, Purple Me quickly used her power-enhancing spell on herself. Then she swung backhandedly and hit the zombie on the head with the stick before the zombie could even react. The stick rained down on it in quick succession. Chen on the side was directly stunned by this scene. He exclaimed, "Girl, you're too fierce." Purple Me, who realized what was happening, instantly felt so overwhelmed by her own actions that she began to vomit uncontrollably. Upon seeing this, Chen immediately kindly handed a bottle of water to Purple Me and comforted her, saying, "You did a great job just now. You will get used to it slowly in the future." This move instantly made Purple Me have a good impression of Chen. Then everyone went to the supermarket together, after taking care of the zombies inside. Chen then signaled for Purple Me to choose the food he liked and take as much as he wanted. And Chen, as agreed, found some small dried fish for rice. This made the little cat very happy. But just then, however, Thunder King suddenly kept barking at Purple Me in the distance. Upon hearing the barking, Purple Me immediately turned around to look behind. At this moment, a giant-sized zombie was slowly approaching Purple Me step by step. The girl tried shopping at the supermarket without cheese for the first time. The result was the outbreak of Doomsday, instantly leading to 80% of the global population mutating into zombies. And at this moment, the girl is still happily choosing her favorite food to eat. She is completely unaware that danger is silently approaching. Fortunately, Thunder King timely let out a cry to remind them. Purple Me only just noticed the zombie that was approaching step by step, which scared her quite a bit. She picked up the shopping bag next to her and fiercely smashed it towards the approaching zombie. Then she got up, dashed away with all her might. But unexpectedly, she crashed into Chen, who was approaching. Looking at the relentlessly chasing zombie Chen behind Purple Me, she instantly broke out in a cold sweat, because he remembered clearly. This devourer, which only appeared after the mid-stage of the apocalypse, unexpectedly showed up in the early stage of the apocalypse in this life. They not only possess amazing strength and defense, but can also attack enemies through self-detonation. So they must engage in quick and decisive battles. They must not give it the chance to self-detonate. Upon seeing the situation, Chen did not hesitate in the slightest. He immediately condensed the void sword with a backhand. At this moment, Thunder King took advantage of the opportunity and delivered a series of 5 lightning strikes. Although Teacher Ma's technique didn't inflict high damage, it was extremely insulting. This instantly drew the zombies' hatred. Just as Devourer was about to turn and attack Thunder King, Chen immediately made a stylish move and appeared behind it, before Devourer could react. Chen cleanly and neatly chopped it in half with a single sword strike. Then he used his body to shield Purple Me from this bloody scene. And this move completely captured Purple Me's heart. Looking at the strong, handsome, and gentlemanly man in front of her, Purple Me's heart felt like a little rabbit had appeared, jumping non-stop. At this moment, Chen touched her head and said, "Purple Me, how about we build a team together? This way, I can protect you better in the future." Upon hearing this, Purple Me also blushed and nodded shyly. Chen was delighted to hear this, so he quickly invited Purple Me and Rice to his house as guests. "We must have a good meal to celebrate today." However, Purple Me said she would rather go home and wait for her sister. If she comes back and doesn't see me, she will definitely worry. Let's do it next time. Rice listened and quickly asked Purple Me why she refused Chen's invitation. "Didn't you leave a note for Fire Princess at home? And I have a feeling that your sister won't be coming home today. Let's go to Chen's house together for a big meal." After some persuasion from Chen and Rice. Later, everyone arrived at Chen's villa together. In no time, Jade Ma prepared a table full of delicious food for everyone. At Luke Chen's warm invitation, everyone, including the cat, immediately started to eat heartily. Jade Ma's culinary skills completely captured their taste buds. While eating, they couldn't help but repeatedly exclaim, "This is so delicious!" After eating and drinking their fill, Purple Me quickly expressed gratitude to Luke Chen. "However, it's time for me to go back too. I don't want my sister to worry about me." Upon hearing this, Luke Chen immediately said, "I can't let you go back alone. Actually, it doesn't matter where we stay. How about a few of us also move to your neighborhood to live? This way, we can all take care of each other." Purple Me immediately said that's a happy decision then. Luke Chen then asked everyone to quickly pack up their luggage. "Let's get ready to move." And then everyone drove to Purple Me's residential area. But just as Luke Chen and the others were preparing to look for a house nearby to live in, Purple Me suddenly stopped them and said, "My house is over 200 square meters. If you don't mind, you can move in with us." As soon as these words were spoken, Luke Chen agreed without hesitation. This is indeed a great opportunity that must be seized. When Fire Princess comes back, it will also be a good time to recruit her. After returning home, Purple Me immediately started assigning rooms for everyone. Jade Ma and Pillars were both arranged to stay in the guest rooms, and Luke Chen was arranged to stay in his sister Fire Princess's room. However, what Luke Chen did not expect was that when he pushed the door open, what came into view was Rice lying on the bed in a playful manner. She was murmuring, "Damn it! Why did you take so long to come?" This is a cat that is even smarter than Einstein. Not only can it speak human language, but it can also sing, dance, rap, and play basketball. It can even effortlessly execute the Mei Mao Ji from the 36 stratagems. I saw Luke Chen enter the room. It immediately coquettishly approached him and said, "You little devil." Then she started acting cute and lovely in front of Luke Chen, saying that she would sleep with him in the future. "From today on, I won't sleep with Purple Me anymore." Upon hearing this, Luke Chen quickly said, "You are such a fickle cat. You forget about the old owner once you have a new one. But it's not bedtime yet. Brother will practice with you." After saying this, Luke Chen took out some crystals from the Spatial and gave them to Rice, explaining how to absorb them. And at this moment, on the other side, Fire Princess is hurrying back with the food she found after many hardships. Two male classmates from the same class are accompanying her. They are not of much help though. When they spotted the zombie, they immediately pushed the Fire Princess to the front. Then two big men avoided her from afar. This made her feel extremely speechless. Therefore, Fire Princess was also exhausted along the way. But luckily, at this moment, they had already arrived at the entrance of the residential area. At the same time, Luke Chen and they were discussing what to eat tonight. Just as Luke Chen was asking Jade Ma if she could barbecue, downstairs suddenly came a familiar voice. "Purple Me, are you home? Quickly come and see what delicious food your sister brought back for you." This made Purple Me very happy. She quickly got up and ran downstairs. Then she dived straight into the arms of her older sister, Fire Princess. Of course, not only Purple Me was happy. Luke Chen was also eagerly anticipating. Finally, he managed to bring back this blood rose Fire Princess. However, just as he was going downstairs, Luke Chen noticed the small entourage behind the Fire Princess. At this moment, the two of them were still whispering to each other, marveling at the fact that she was indeed the school flower's younger sister. Her looks are on par with, if not surpassing, those of her sister, the Fire Princess. We must win over this pair of sisters. Who is that guy? I've never heard Fire Princess mention having a brother before. Seeing this, Fire Princess quickly asked her sister who he was. Purple Me immediately introduced Luke Chen to Fire Princess. "Sister, this is Luke Chen, my big brother. During the time you were absent, thanks to Luke Chen taking care of me. If it wasn't for him, Rice and I would have starved to death long ago. But just then, Two little followers suddenly warmly brought snacks to Purple Me, thinking that Fire Princess always ignores us anyway. Why don't we start with her sister first? Upon seeing this, Purple Me quickly expressed that she was not hungry. You two should keep the snacks for yourselves. However, these two followers continued to pester Purple Me tirelessly. Offering help without reason is either a plot or a theft. They demonstrated it perfectly on themselves. Fire Princess, who witnessed the scene, was speechless for a while. She secretly regretted teaming up with these two idiots back then. They slowed her down on the road, and now they are causing trouble for her sister. She must quickly get rid of these two burdens. Shortly after, these two idiots followed everyone upstairs eagerly. Upon seeing this, Chen quickly asked Jade Ma if there was any more rice at home. Let's cook a bit more today. Just be sure not to waste water when washing the rice. Upon hearing this, Jade Ma was momentarily stunned. Didn't we agree to have a barbecue just now? Why are we cooking rice again? Besides, don't we always wash the rice before cooking it anyway? But when Jade Ma turned back to see the situation, she immediately understood what Chen meant. But unexpectedly, these two people did not consider themselves outsiders at all. They went straight into the kitchen as soon as they entered the door. They watched as Jade Ma cooked with mineral water. Without saying a word, the two of them quickly grabbed the bottled water when they arrived. Then, they immediately started drinking straight from the bottle. Jade Ma was quite upset about this. She quickly shouted, "Can't you pour it into a glass to drink? How will others drink like this?" When these words were spoken, not only did the two fail to restrain themselves, but they also criticized Jade Ma for overreacting. "What's wrong with having a few sips of water from your cup? We are not sick. Do you know how many hardships we have encountered along the way?" Then the two turned their gazes to Thunder King standing next to them. Then shouted, "Fire Princess, your home surprisingly still has dogs that haven't been infected. Why don't we have a dog meat hot pot today to nourish our bodies?" And these words completely angered Chen, who muttered that these two people were selfish and self-serving. They even dared to have designs on my family's Thunder King. It seems that these two troublemakers cannot be left alive. You absolutely can't imagine the Earth dog in front of you who doesn't look very smart. It turns out that it is a powerful ability user. In this food-scarce apocalypse, there are not too many desperados who want to eat its dog meat. But their fate is without exception. They all died miserably under the Thunder King's 5 consecutive lightning strikes. Even so, there are still people who dare to have evil intentions towards the Thunder King. And they are still standing on the moral high ground, righteously accusing little brother Chen. Isn't that what it means, right? You don't even see what kind of world it is outside now. People are starving. How can you waste food to feed dogs? Listen to me and slaughter this dog to feed everyone." This made Thunder King furious. He immediately started barking wildly at the two of them, showing his teeth. But the two fools who saw the scene became even more excited. They quickly shouted, "Look at how fierce this dog is! Who will be responsible if it harms Fire Princess and Purple Me? We must stew this beast today." And this remark completely angered Chen, who immediately retorted, "What's it to you? I feed my dog with my own food. Does that concern you? Do you live by the sea?" Upon hearing this, the man immediately became furious and said, "Fire Princess, quickly listen to what this kid is saying. Is it even understandable language? We don't eat alone. Is there anything wrong with improving the food for everyone? We have suffered a lot on the way escorting you back, haven't we? What's wrong with us having a bite of dog meat?" But we didn't even wait for him to finish his sentence. Fire Princess suddenly shouted, "Shut up! Don't think I don't know. I know your dirty intentions of following me. Don't you have any idea who is escorting whom along the way? When we encounter danger, you two just keep pushing me forward. You guys really aren't men. Let's end our cooperation here. Turn right when you leave, and have a safe journey. This is final." They immediately became angry and ashamed, saying, "You, Fire Princess, didn't expect you to be this kind of person. We helped you find your sister, And you repay us with betrayal, huh? I've noted this down. What goes around comes around. After saying this, the two of them left the room in anger. But Chen had no intention of letting these two fools off. How dare they speak arrogantly in front of me? People like them, who may pose a threat to oneself in the future, Chen will definitely not allow them to remain at large. Then he immediately gave Thunder King a signal with his eyes, indicating that the next matter would be left for you to handle. The next second, Thunder King understood and chased after him without hesitation. And at this moment, those two guys were still murmuring about how to retaliate against Chen and the others. Little did they know that their lives had come to an end at this moment. At that moment, Thunder King suddenly roared and stopped the two people. The two rogues who saw this scene were overjoyed. They laughed heartily, thinking this stupid dog actually delivered himself to their doorstep. We are in for a treat today. But before they could finish their words, Thunder King immediately struck with a set of lightning 5-whip method in a backhand motion. These two individuals hadn't even had the chance to let out a scream before they were inexplicably taken away with their hot lunch boxes. At the same time, on the other side, Fire Princess was enjoying her meal of white rice in the blink of an eye. A large pot of rice was quickly polished off by her, leaving everyone in shock. Seeing their frightened expressions, Fire Princess quickly and awkwardly explained, "Sorry, I was just too hungry. I couldn't resist eating a bit too much. I'll go find some food for you guys right away." But to everyone's surprise, Chen casually replied, "No need. After you finish eating, please give us a seat. We're getting ready to have our meal. Also, let's not bother with barbecue today, Sister Jade. It's too much trouble. Just make a dozen or so of your signature dishes. Remember to pan-fry a grouper for rice." Look at Fire Princess's shocked expression on the side. Chen revealed a mischievous smile. Today, he would use this meal to win over the aloof Blood Rose. The over 400 grams of gold in Apocalypse can only be used as a table prop, while a watermelon priced at 50 cents per pound can capture a girl's heart. Even more so, in order to take a bite of a sausage, one would willingly exchange their body. Just because this is a food-scarce apocalypse where countless people starve to death every day. And as the reborn Chen hoarded millions of tons of supplies before the apocalypse broke out. Although he has enough food to feed 100 people for 8 lifetimes, Chen is only willing to share with those who follow him, in order to make this arrogant Blood Rose submit to oneself. So he had a sudden idea and immediately ordered more than 10 dishes that Fire Princess loved in front of her. Then he called Purple Me over and gestured for her to go to the room with him to talk about something. But as soon as they entered the room, Chen pinned Purple Me against the wall. Then he gazed affectionately at her and started questioning her. "Is it true that Chen treats you like family, providing for all your needs and taking good care of you? All of this is because you willingly follow me wholeheartedly. That's why Chen treats you so well. But someone who doesn't listen to me will surely not receive the same treatment. Do you think your sister will obey me like you do?" Upon hearing this, Purple Me immediately confirmed that her sister would definitely not, because her older sister has always been very opinionated since she was young. Besides, she is not familiar with you now. She definitely won't trust you. Chen immediately expressed his thoughts that you think who between me and Fire Princess is more suitable to lead everyone in surviving in this apocalypse. Just as he finished speaking, Purple Me immediately, without hesitation, mentioned Chen's name. Brother Chen not only is brave and strategical, but also selflessly shares food with everyone. Therefore, the team leader is none other than Brother Chen. This praise made Chen a little embarrassed. Then he said seriously, "We must get your sister's approval first. Otherwise, it could be troublesome if Fire Princess refuses to listen to instructions during dangerous situations in the future. Therefore, before Fire Princess approves of me, I will absolutely not let her eat anything. This is also for her own good. As long as she is willing to listen to me obediently, I will naturally not treat her unfairly." Purple Me, who has been brainwashed by Chen, nodded repeatedly in agreement. It is necessary for her older sister to listen to brother Chen. All of this is for the good of her older sister. At the same time, Fire Princess saw Jade Ma preparing to cook and quickly dissuaded her. Just cook 2 dishes. Also, when you cook rice, you can add more water. Do you know how precious these fresh ingredients are now? There are only 5 of us. We can't eat that much. How can we live with such waste in the future? But unexpectedly, the response to her was just one sentence. I can't make decisions on this. I will do as much as Chen asks me to do. With these words, Fire Princess immediately found Chen and then questioned him about why he wanted Jade Ma to make so many dishes. Isn't this way too extravagant? But Chen said that this was to celebrate your reunion with Purple Me. As long as my sister Purple Me is happy, it's all good. Jade Ma quickly prepared a table full of delicious dishes. Although Fire Princess said it was too extravagant, her body was honest. As soon as she saw all these dishes that she loved, she immediately sat down at the table. However, the next second she realized something was wrong. There were obviously 5 people dining. However, only 4 bottles of mineral water were placed on the table. Just as she was puzzled by this, Chen suddenly asked her weakly, "May I ask why you are sitting here?" Upon hearing this, Fire Princess quickly exclaimed in surprise, "If I'm not sitting here, where else would I sit? There are only 5 seats in total. Are you suggesting I eat standing up?" But Chen immediately retorted, "Didn't you just eat earlier? Are you trying to watch us eat instead?" Fire Princess immediately became angry and said, "Didn't you say earlier that this meal was to celebrate my reunion with my sister? What are you trying to say? I'm leaving." In the apocalypse, a gold brick worth 800,000 can only be used as a table coaster. And a sausage that costs 50 cents can make a high-profile female celebrity kneel down and lick. Even worse, in order to have a bite of steamed bun, she ended up giving birth to a child for the man. But unexpectedly, with a table full of delicious dishes, he still couldn't win over the girl in front of him. This illustrates Einstein's theory of relativity. Obviously, it has little to do with this situation. Even if Chen's request was just for her to call him Big Brother, Fire Princess still refused to lower her noble head. Upon hearing this, Chen immediately said, "Since you don't acknowledge me, why are you still sitting here? Here, apart from you, everyone else is my people. Therefore, I am also willing to share food with everyone. Tell me if you are willing to follow me in the future." Once this is said, Purple Me took the lead in stating that I will live and die with brother Chen. Pillars on the side also express that whether it is above heaven or below the ground, I will always follow brother Chen. As for Jade Ma, she said that from the moment you saved me, my life already belongs to you. Seeing this, Thunder King and Rice also refused to be outdone. They quickly expressed their loyalty to Chen one after another. At this point, Chen proudly said, "As you can see, they all belong to me, Chen. If you're willing to call me brother, you can also stay and have a meal with us." Before Chen could finish speaking, Fire Princess slammed the table and angrily roared, "I do not eat food from someone else's table." After saying that, Fire Princess turned around in a huff and left. Chen did not say anything to stop her. Instead, he deliberately told Purple Me loudly, "Quick, try this Emperor Crab. And also, this ruby-spotted fish was specially prepared for you." Listening to these intentionally irritating words, Fire Princess got so angry that she stormed off into her own room. I thought that this would make it out of sight, out of mind. But little did I know, as soon as I pushed the door open, she saw a pair of men's shorts lying on her bed. This really got her quite angry. She quickly shouted, "Purple Me, what's going on here?" Upon hearing this, Purple Me immediately apologized and said, "I'm sorry, sister. I forgot to tell you. I've already assigned this room to my brother, Chen. In the future, sister, you can sleep in my room. I have already moved your things there. Or you can go to my room to take a shower first." Later, Fire Princess cursed Chen while taking a bath. You can keep making as much trouble as you want. The refrigerator is so small anyway. It can't hold much food. When the food runs out, let's see how you can compete with me. Also, what kind of enchanted soup did Purple Me get tricked into by that guy? He even joined forces with outsiders to target me. Thinking about this, Fire Princess decided to go out and call her sister in to ask for clarification. But as soon as she walked out of the bathroom, she heard Luke Chen's voice calling everyone to eat grapes. This made her very hungry. You should know that this is her favorite fruit to eat. She hasn't had grapes since the Doomsday outbreak. Although she really wanted to eat, but for the sake of her dignity, she still forced herself to walk out of the room calmly. Then she gestured for Purple Me to come into the room to talk to her about something. At this time, Luke Chen took out a bunch of grapes and shook it. He was muttering about eating grapes without spitting out the skin. If you don't eat grapes, you spit out the skin. This angered Fire Princess, who immediately gave Luke Chen a fierce glare. She then walked into the room with Purple Me and locked the door behind them. Fire Princess turned and pushed her sister down on the bed. Then she shouted, "Quickly tell me what benefits that guy gave you. How dare you team up with him to anger your sister?" She saw that the little girl refused to speak. So Fire Princess immediately started tickling Purple Me unexpectedly after only 2.5 minutes of tickling. Purple Me then told the whole story in detail. In fact, Brother Luke Chen really wants you to join our team. But he is afraid that you won't listen. That's why he behaved that way towards you just now. He has talked to me about your matter before. Because I also think he makes a lot of sense. That's why I agreed to cooperate. Upon hearing this, Fire Princess immediately said angrily, "It's absurd. He thinks he can manipulate me with just one meal. If he openly displays enough strength in front of me, I will naturally obediently listen to him. But I just can't stand his despicable means. In that case, let's fight it out and see who will have the last laugh. If calling out, 'Big Brother,' will get you a lifetime meal ticket, then count me in. Are you willing to call out?" But this girl gave an unexpected answer. Even if this lady were to starve to death, she would never eat food attained through begging. I will now go out to search for food. After saying that, she resolutely walked out of the house, watching the departing figure of the Fire Princess. Purple Me quickly shouted, "It's getting dark soon. Sister, it's too dangerous for you to go out now." Seeing Purple Me so worried, Luke Chen immediately ordered Rice to go out with Fire Princess. If there is any danger, they can also provide early warning in advance. Also, Thunder King, you go with them as well. Help protect Fire Princess for me, and look out for Purple Me." Upon hearing this, Purple Me immediately expresses her gratitude to Luke Chen. "I am worried about my sister going out alone. Can I go with Rice and Thunder King too?" Luke Chen did not object to this, because the zombies in the neighborhood have been basically cleaned up by them. Moreover, with Thunder King and Rice accompanying them, even if they go out at night, they won't encounter any danger. Luke Chen wants to tease Fire Princess because he wanted to capture her attention. Because in his previous life, he was caught red-handed by Fire Princess when he was stealing vegetables at her base. And Fire Princess also fiercely kicked his butt more than 10 times. Luke Chen, the camper, still harbored resentment about this. That's why he came up with such a plan to get back at her. But he also knows that Blood Rose Fire Princess can be tough and uncompromising. He wants to conquer this thorny rose. He must show his strength that can crush her. But just at that moment, the Fire Princess walked over with a bowl of just found Kong Shui Fu beef noodles and said, "Although it's not as delicious as your big fish and meat, being able to eat a hot bowl of instant noodles satisfies me." Luke Chen did not pay attention to this, but instructed Jade Ma to have beef noodles for dinner tonight. The kind of beef noodles that you cannot see the noodles. This made Fire Princess quite angry. She wanted to show off in front of him, but she didn't expect to be outsmarted by this kid again. At this moment, Luke Chen slowly walked over and said, "Fire Princess, let's have a chat. I was indeed a bit rude to you at noon. I sincerely apologize to you now. But before he could finish his sentence, Fire Princess questioned him directly. What exactly are you trying to sell with your double-dealing tactics? Do you think you can humiliate me with those delicacies? Upon hearing this, Chen immediately explained, You've misunderstood. I simply want to apologize to you sincerely. Besides, until you acknowledge me as the captain, I won't share any resources with you. As a team captain, one must have both courage and strategy. Neither can be lacking. I will prove to you that I can outclass you in any aspect. How about a duel in 3 days? If you can defeat me, I, Chen, will defer to you. If not... Before Chen could finish speaking, Fire Princess immediately said, If not, I will listen to you in the future. But why wait for 3 days? Why not seize the day? Let's have a competition now. Upon hearing this, Chen immediately expressed his concern. I'm afraid I may not control the force well at the moment. If I accidentally injure you, how can I face that? In another 2 or 3 days, I will be able to break through to level 4. By then, my control over ability will be more stable. Besides, don't even say you can beat me now. You wouldn't even be able to defeat Thunder King. Fire Princess immediately became angry and frustrated, saying, I don't believe you at all. You old rascal, you're so wicked. Who do you think you're looking down on? Am I not even able to defeat a stray dog? Chen did not argue with her about this. Instead, he casually said, If you don't believe it, you can go and challenge Thunder King right now. But at that moment, Thunder King suddenly became alert, staring intently at every movement at the door. Immediately, a rapid knocking sound came from the door. In Apocalypse, just a bunch of grapes can be exchanged for a sack of gold. And this girl found a bowl of Kong Shifu beef noodles. I didn't expect that this would trigger a horrific and tragic murder case. It turns out it was just a moment ago. The neighbor suddenly anxiously knocked on the door of Fire Princess's house, shouting that I haven't eaten anything all day. Please share a bite of instant noodles with me. Fire Princess quickly responded upon hearing that you haven't eaten anything all day. So, that means you ate something yesterday, right? I haven't eaten for 2 days myself. Hurry and leave me alone. Then she turned and told Purple Me never to be overly compassionate, because no matter how much you feed him, there will always be a day when he finishes eating. After finishing eating, he will still come to you asking for more. So we might as well just refuse him the first time. Little did she know that her heartless rejection caused the neighbor to harbor murderous intentions towards her. And at this moment, Rice also sensed the malice of the person outside the door. Then it immediately walked over to inform Chen of the situation. At the same time, on the other side, that wicked old woman actually gathered 7 or 8 strong men. She persuaded them by saying that there was a large amount of food at Fire Princess's house. Afterwards, she aggressively brought the group to Fire Princess's house downstairs. And this scene happened to be seen by Pillars by the window. Seeing this, he immediately told Chen, Brother Chen, a group of people has gathered downstairs at our place. And they are all carrying weapons. It's obvious that they are not up to any good. At this moment, Chen grinned and said, Ignorant fools! A group of people came downstairs at our house. They are all carrying weapons. You can tell at a glance that they are not good people. At this moment, Chen grinned and said, Ignorant fools! How dare you start construction right under the deity's noses? Pillars, take Thunder King downstairs to work. Upon hearing this, Pillars immediately pulled out an electric baton, while Purple Me quickly cast 2 enhancing skills on Pillars. Then Pillars led Thunder King out of the room. Upon seeing this, Lily Me also came to the window with Chen to watch the battle. She thought to herself, I want to see if this mongrel is really as powerful as he claims. At this moment, the group of people surged forward and surrounded Pillars. Without saying a word, they launched a frenzy of attacks on Pillars. But soon they realized something was wrong. No matter how they attacked, they couldn't harm the man in front of them at all. One of the little Gargas saw this, and tried to launch a sneak attack using their ability. However, they were immediately taken out by the Thunder King with a set of lightning whip attacks as soon as he arrived. With just a brief encounter, Pillars and Thunder King easily concluded the battle. This stunned Lily-Me, who was watching the battle. She never expected that Thunder King's strength would surpass that of Pillars Sue. When Chen saw her shocked expression, he did not mock her. Instead, he turned his gaze to the nearby Purple Me. Then he handed over a small knife and said, "This time, the task of retrieving Crystal is up to you." When this statement came out, Purple Me was immediately shocked and turned pale. Then she shouted, "Why do you want me to go?" Chen explained that even though you are just an assistant, there are still some things that you need to experience firsthand. Otherwise, you may feel uncomfortable when you see them in the future, which could affect the battle. Upon hearing this, Lily-Me also expressed, "I think Chen is right. There are some things that you will have to face sooner or later." Shortly after, Chen took Purple Me downstairs. After going through a psychological preparation process, Purple Me then started digging out Crystal from the body in a difficult manner. This disgusting scene made her unable to stop vomiting. Seeing this, Chen quickly comforted her, saying, "You're doing great. Everyone was like you at the beginning. You'll get used to it eventually." Sister Jade has already prepared beef noodles. Let's go upstairs to eat first. Upon returning home, Chen handed a bowl of noodles with the most beef to Purple Me. Upon seeing this scene, Lily-Me was stunned on the spot. Then she shouted, "Are you guys eating beef or beef noodles? This is too extravagant." And Chen, don't forget our 3-day agreement. After I become the captain, I must change your wasteful habit. How strong is this camper exactly? He not only tamed the famous Thunder and Lightning King in Apocalypse as a pet. He also awakened the extremely rare Spatial ability, possessing top-tier talents in both combat and survival. In the Apocalypse, he can be considered an invincible presence. But this girl is stubborn and refuses to be convinced. She actually made a 3-day appointment with Chen. 3 days later, the two will have a fair competition. The one who loses must unconditionally submit to the other. He wants to bring this Blood Rose Fire Princess under his command. So Chen immediately returned to his room to start frantically absorbing the crystals. Unexpectedly, after absorbing more than 80 crystals in a row, Chen's level still showed no sign of breaking through. It seems that these low-level crystals no longer have much effect on him. However, Chen still has 2 high-level crystals obtained from the Rat King and Devourer. If you add those survivor crystals collected by Purple Me today, he should have more than enough to break through to level 4. Chen immediately took out the advanced crystal and began absorbing it. After completely absorbing all of this energy, Chen suddenly felt a splitting headache. At this moment, Chen's level also finally broke through to level 4. At the same time, he also awakened the second spatial ability, Void Step. Chen was overjoyed by this. Remember, this was the key to his survival in the previous life when the human race was facing extinction. These skills can be used not only for escaping. This skill can be used to launch a surprise attack, catching the opponent off guard. Upon thinking of this, Chen immediately executed the Void Step technique. The next second, he suddenly appeared in front of Thunder King, startling the Thunder King, who was resting in the living room. Thunder King began barking incessantly on the spot. Seeing this, Chen quickly glanced at Thunder King, signaling it not to panic. After realizing that the incoming person was its own master, Thunder King breathed a sigh of relief. The next morning, early in the morning, Jade Ma made another big table of delicious breakfast. It made Lily-Me, who was nibbling on bread, very envious. Even a breakfast meal has a spread of 9 dishes and 1 soup. Does this kid's family have a mind? This also made Lily-Me slightly suspicious. The fridge at home is only so small. According to their lavish meals with big portions of meat and fish every time, the food in the fridge should have been long gone. Could it be that they found more food outside last night? To find out the truth, Lily-Me immediately took a big step forward and rushed to the fridge. However, The moment she opened the fridge, she was instantly shocked by the sight in front of her, refreshing her understanding. The fridge wasn't empty as she had expected. On the contrary, it was packed full of food. Upon seeing this, Lily quickly asked Chen what was going on with the fridge. Where did you get all these fresh ingredients? Upon hearing this, Purple quickly explained that, in fact, Chen, as an ability user of the spatial class, hoarded 1 billion small bits of food in the ability space. It's enough for us to eat for several lifetimes. When this was said, Lily immediately exclaimed in anger and frustration. So I'm actually the foolish one who knows nothing. You really are my good little sister, joining forces with outsiders to deceive me. However, she quickly had a change of heart and thought, there's no point in getting angry about this. After I defeat that stinky brat Chen, I must make him kneel in front of me and call me daddy. And he must bring me delicacies from mountains and seas to show his respect to me every day. Upon thinking about this, Lily quickly reminded Chen not to forget the duel in 2 days. You must not play dirty if you lose to me. You must obey my words without question. Chen, who heard these words, smiled faintly. Since you are so eager to be defeated by me. Actually, I can also satisfy your needs in advance. If you want to battle, let's battle. Why wait until 2 days later? Lily was shocked at once. She wondered what trick this kid was up to. I wanted to spar with him earlier, but he insisted on waiting for 3 days. How come he changed his mind now? He is obviously an invincible entity in Apocalypse. But when encountering zombies, he runs faster than anyone else. The woman thought he was a camper with no combat effectiveness, but she didn't know he was a true man of 3 seconds. He not only boasted that he could defeat a girl with just 1 move, but also claimed that the time would definitely not exceed 3 seconds. When this was said, Lily immediately shouted, Who do you think you're underestimating? Can I really lose to you in less than 3 seconds? Chen, who heard this, chuckled. How about we add a little twist? If I can't defeat you within 3 seconds, then I'll consider it my loss. But if I win, not only do you have to obediently join my team, but you also need to bend over and let me kick you. Upon hearing these words, Lily's heart tightened. She thought that although this guy might indeed be stronger than me, with my current abilities, thinking of defeating me in just 3 seconds is simply the words of a fool. Moreover, during the sparring match, there will be at least a distance of 3 to 4 meters between the 2 sides. As long as I don't engage in a direct confrontation with him, dodging for 3 seconds should be an easy task, right? At this moment, Lily spoke up and asked, What is the distance between the 2 sides during our sparring match? But Chen didn't even think about it, and blurted out a distance of 20 meters. Because only in this way will Lily be easily hooked. Otherwise, after recruiting Lily under his command, he will find opportunities to openly avenge the past. I can hear that the distance is 20 meters. Lily's confidence immediately surges. This is what you said. If you lose, then allow me to avenge you with a kick. However, Chen waved his hand, indicating that if you win, you can carry me to death. Or you can make any request to me. As long as it is within my power and ability to do so, I, Chen, promise to fulfill it for you. Although Lily also felt something fishy at the moment, the thought of it most being kicked by him after losing made her agree without hesitation to Chen's additional stakes. So the two immediately arrived at the rooftop, and were ready to start the fight. With Purple shouting loudly that the match had begun. Lily quickly distanced herself from the two, and stared closely at Chen's every move. She thought to herself, I want to see who gave this kid the courage. He said he would defeat me within 3 seconds. But as soon as the words fell, Chen mysteriously disappeared from Lily's sight. Seeing this, Lily immediately looked around but still did not see any trace of Chen. Just as she was puzzled, Chen suddenly appeared from behind her and grabbed her neck. Then a cold voice came from behind Lily. Lily, you lost. I'm asking if you surrender. Although she was indeed unwilling at the moment. But if Chen didn't control himself with his hands just now, and attacked me with a knife, I'm afraid I would have met my end long ago. Then Lily stubbornly said, "You win. I admit defeat." But before Lily could finish her words, Chen, however, patted Lily on the shoulder and said, "What I did a few days ago was indeed a bit excessive. Here, I sincerely apologize to you. In the future, we will be comrades in life and death. Welcome to officially join our team. Let's go downstairs for breakfast first." Later, Jade Ma warmly brought her a hearty breakfast. She also said that if it wasn't enough to eat, feel free to say so. She would make something else delicious for her. Seeing this, Lily did not stand on ceremony with her either. She immediately started to eat heartily. You should know that she has been drooling over the food for the past couple of days. After finishing the meal, Chen called everyone to the living room. He said that since our team has been officially established, let's now discuss the plans for the future. In Apocalypse, $1 million gold brick can only be used as a table support. And a bottle of pure water that costs $2 can make a top female celebrity kneel down and cry for her father. It's just because this is an apocalypse where food is scarce. Some people would even fight for a mouthful of instant noodles to eat. He is willing to stake his entire fortune in life. On the contrary, Chen is just the opposite. He not only hoarded billions of goods, he also recruited a group of powerful individuals to form his own team. In order to better lead everyone to survive in the apocalypse, Chen gathered all members to discuss the next plan. At this time, he solemnly said, "Lily, now I have proven to you that my strength is not only above yours, but my overall perspective is also more than just a bit better than yours. Now you should acknowledge me as the team leader, right? If you were the team leader, what do you think we should do next?" Upon hearing this, Lily was first taken aback. Then she expressed that she had never thought about this question. "My current idea is to protect my sister. Being questioned by you like this, I feel very confused." Chen glanced at the others again, but everyone also felt very confused and at a loss. At this time, only to see Chen solemnly say, "Although we have no worries about food and drink now, we must understand the importance of being prepared for potential dangers. I and Pillars once encountered a powerful mutant rat king. I also encountered large evolved zombies with purple me. Their combat power is one level higher than ordinary monsters. Therefore, I think highly of the strength of zombies. The strength of zombies will also increase over time. Moreover, the number of zombies will continue to increase in the future. The only way for us to survive in this brutal apocalypse is to unite more strong individuals. After all, as Chairman Mao once said, with many hands, the workload is light." Currently, there are two paths for everyone to choose from. Either we join other teams, or we recruit more strong individuals to build our own power. I never care about what others say to me, because my original intention has never changed. That is to establish a force that belongs to us. If your ideas are the same as mine, then I think this is really cool." After hearing Chen's really cool idea, everyone nodded in agreement. Even though Chen doesn't form a faction in this life, he can still live well. When he encounters dangers, he can just slip away using Void Step. But other members don't have his spatial ability. If he doesn't grow his team early to resist the zombies, then their fate will be the same as in the previous life. If that's the case, then what is the point of being reborn? After receiving everyone's support, Chen expressed that the next thing we need to do is to quickly recruit more strong individuals to join our team. However, we do not recruit just anyone. While strength is important, I place more emphasis on their character. If they are the kind of person who flees in the face of danger, recruiting such individuals will only burden the team. Also, I analyze based on the current situation. With the decreasing supplies in the city area, the number of zombies is gradually increasing. The remaining survivors are likely to choose to escape to the outskirts for shelter. Therefore, I believe it would be more suitable for our base to be set up in the suburbs. Upon hearing Chen's plans for the future, everyone cast admiring glances at Chen. Lily Me also had to admit that Chen is indeed the best candidate for captain. She said, I really didn't think as far ahead as you did. I also very much agree with your earlier points. Upon hearing this, Chen smiled slightly. Then call me brother and let me listen. And you won't go back on what you promised earlier, right? At this moment, Chen couldn't help but feel a wave of satisfaction. He could finally openly avenge the grudge from his previous life. The woman tried getting kicked in the butt by a man for the first time. She ended up being ruthlessly rejected by the other party. Why do women have such special requirements? All of this has to start from the previous life. Chen, who had been starved for 3 days, came to the base to steal vegetables. Unexpectedly, he was caught red-handed by the base leader Lily Me. She didn't say a word and kicked him in the butt. He, in order to avenge a kick from a previous life. So the reborn Chen found Lily Me and proposed to have a fair martial arts competition with her. The person who loses must raise their butt and let the other person kick it. Chen only took 2.5 seconds. He easily defeated the former female war god Blood Rose Fire Princess. To save the other party's face, Chen called Lily Me into the room alone. Lily Me didn't hesitate either. She immediately raised her big butt voluntarily. This really excited Chen a lot. He secretly thought that he could finally make up for his past mistakes. At this moment, Lily Me could be seen impatiently urging, What are you dilly-dallying for? Are you going to kick or not? I am counting a dozen right now. If you don't kick me, I'll consider it as you giving up. Lily Me finished speaking and started the countdown. But at this moment, Chen fell into contemplation. Could it be that he found Lily Me just to kick her? It seems like this grudge is not necessarily one that must be settled. Although it would be satisfying to kick her, I have a feeling that if I really did it, I might end up feeling like a bachelor for the rest of my life. Thinking of this, Chen slapped her big butt with a big slap. This made Lily Me very upset. She quickly shouted, How can you use your hand without permission? Upon hearing this, Chen chuckled. How about I switch feet and do it again? He said. Lily Me immediately said angrily, Believe it or not, I will ruin you right now. If you dare to mention what just happened, I will cut ties with you immediately. Seeing this, Chen immediately said, I understand the rules. I promise not to mention this matter in the future. To celebrate your joining our team, I'll go out first and ask Sister Jade to make a Sichuan cuisine meal for you, your favorite, for lunch. Upon hearing this, Lily Me was immediately stunned in place. She wondered how this kid knew that Sichuan cuisine was her favorite. Could it be that Purple Me told him even this? Soon, Jade Ma had prepared a table full of delicious dishes. When Lily Me saw the Sichuan dishes in front of her with all the colors, flavors, and aroma, tears of excitement welled up in her eyes. Immediately, she picked up her chopsticks and started eating in a work mode. While eating, she also pursed her lips in contentment. I never expected to eat such delicious food in my lifetime. Sister Jade, your cooking skills are simply fantastic. After being filled with food and drink, Chen announced an important decision to everyone. Because the neighborhood we currently live in is in the city center, not only is the terrain not good, but the view is also not broad. There are high-rise buildings all around. It is not conducive to retreat in case of emergencies. It is not suitable for long-term living. For the safety consideration of everyone, let's pack up in a while. Tomorrow, we will move together to my villa in the suburbs. The next day, early in the morning, Chen and others left the community in a heavy truck. But on the way to the villa, Chen encountered a survivor asking for his help. The man was seen holding an iron rod tightly in front of his teammate. No matter how his teammate urged him to leave quickly, or else it would be too late, the man still had no intention of abandoning his teammate, insisting on sharing the same fate, saying he would rather die together. I will never leave my brothers behind to save myself. Upon seeing this scene, Chen was immediately reminded of the scene in his past life where the pillars sacrificed themselves to save him. He thought to himself, this person can be trusted. Even at the most critical moment of life and death, they did not abandon their companions to escape alone. Isn't this exactly the kind of team member we urgently need to recruit? Thinking of this, Chen immediately ordered Thunder King to get off the car and rescue this person. As soon as he finished speaking, Thunder King rushed towards Zombie like a thunderbolt. Don't be fooled by the small size of this dog. It is the renowned Thunder and Lightning King in Apocalypse. Not only zombies, but also other creatures will steer clear when they see it. The ability users who try to attack it can't survive for more than 3 seconds. It's all because it possesses the strongest combat talent, Thunder ability. Just one set of Lightning 5 whip lashes instantly wiped out 8 zombies. This stunned the survivor on the side. They never expected that our group was almost wiped out by the zombies, but they were effortlessly dealt with by this little dog. When the dog owner walked over, several people quickly expressed their gratitude to Chen. Hello, my name is Feather Fawn. I am an ability user from the strength class. The people behind me are all brothers from my security company. They have also awakened their abilities. Thanks to Big Brother's rescue just now, we were able to escape a disaster by a hair's breadth. I, Feather Fawn, will remember this kindness. Upon hearing this, Chen immediately said, No need to be polite. It was just a small effort. I wonder if you brothers are interested in joining my team. Feather Fawn quickly bowed and clasped his fists in respect upon hearing this. Since you do not look down on our humble strength, brothers have no reason to refuse. Then from now on, we will all follow Brother Chen. Me also expressed strong approval of the addition of these few individuals. Although their abilities are indeed a bit lacking, their character is good. They are willing to never abandon their comrades in times of crisis. Later, Chen had Pillars take a few people to the rear compartment. They arrived at the villa in the suburbs. Chen then arranged for a few people to stay next door to his own. You guys go in first and freshen up. I will come find you later. After all, Chen is not very familiar with them at the moment. Naturally, he wouldn't have them stay with him. After returning home, Chen took out everyone's luggage from ability space. He also brought out some rice and potatoes. Then he took Pillars to the next door to deliver food. However, just as they reached the doorstep, Chen heard a commotion coming from inside the house. He couldn't believe it. Brother Chen's dog is unexpectedly strong. Together, the 4 of us are no match for the dog. Would you mind removing the word estimated? Then Chen cleared his throat. Next he said, I have brought some food for everyone. You all know how to cook, right? Feather Fawn immediately said, You have saved our lives. How can we accept such precious food from you? These things are for you to keep. I will take my brothers out to find food now. Upon hearing this, Chen smiled faintly. Since you've decided to follow me, Chen, then we are brothers from now on. No need to be polite with brothers. I am giving you a task now. After eating, you guys tidy up the supplies in the villa area. Then hand them over to me for unified management. Then Pillars handed 4 walkie-talkies to Feather Fawn so that they could contact Chen in case of any situation. After returning home, Chen gathered everyone in the living room. At this moment, only to see Chen solemnly say, Although we have new team members now, only the core members can enjoy the same treatment as us. Therefore, the secret of ability space cannot be told to them for the time being. If they perform well in the future, I can consider them as core members. Also, in the future, we will settle here for the long term. So, for everyone's safety considerations, we must now investigate the entire villa area. Later, we will split into 2 groups to investigate here. Pillars and Purple Me Rice will be one group, and I will be with Lily Me and Thunder King in the other group. Later, Chen led everyone out of the villa. But just then, suddenly, a roar of a car engine came from behind him. Upon seeing this, Chen immediately pulled Lily Me into the nearby bushes to hide. Shortly after, a large bus stopped at the entrance of the residential area. Right after that, a very attractive girl with a stunning figure got off the bus. But when Luke Chen saw the new arrival's face clearly, he immediately broke out in a cold sweat, wondering how it could be this annoying person. She was originally the youngest female billionaire in the world, but after the doomsday broke out, she fell into a lowly bootlicker. However, the object she groveled to was none other than Lily Me, who had just been taken in by Luke Chen. The woman's name is Sky Song Mu. In her previous life, she was a dominant ruler of the apocalypse. After the apocalypse, she formed a team consisting only of women. However, she has a severe misophobia and believes that all men are extremely dirty. She would use torture without hesitation if she found any of her team members having any contact with men. In the previous life, Lily Me joined her camp. It is said that this Sky Song Mu ultimately died because of saving Lily Me. It can be said that he's even willing to sacrifice his life for her. He can definitely be considered Lily Me's #1 bootlicker. Later, Lily Me took over her position and became the second leader of the base. But Luke Chen remembers clearly. In the previous life, Lily Me only met Sky Song Mu in the middle of the apocalypse. Could it be that my rebirth triggered the butterfly effect, causing them to meet earlier? But fortunately, I had already taken Lily Me under my wing beforehand. I treated her to luxurious feasts of fish and meat. Only a fool would associate with that dead pervert Sky Song Mu. Just when Luke Chen was lost in thought, a scolding voice suddenly came from not far away. Who was sneaking around hiding in the bushes? It was the girl with a ponytail behind Sky Song Mu who spoke up. Luke Chen recognized her at a glance as Cloud Shu, a powerful frozen element ability user whose strength is second only to Lily Me. At this moment, Sky Song Mu walked up to Lily Me with a smile on her face. "Girl, why are you hiding here? I am Sky Song Mu, nice to meet you," she said happily. But unexpectedly, Lily Me coldly replied with 5 words. "None of your business," even though Lily Me's tone seemed very impatient. But Sky Song Mu still persistently tried to get close to her. "Girl, we are a team with only girls. Would you consider joining us?" This made Luke Chen nearby quite angry. He muttered, "Sky Song Mu, you are quite skilled at using a hoe. How dare you try to win her over in front of me?" Luke Chen was about to retort, but Lily Me preempted him, saying, "Sorry, I already have my own team." Upon hearing this, Sky Song Mu immediately gave Luke Chen a fierce glare. "Could it be that you are on the same team as this pretty boy?" Luke Chen immediately declared that he had nothing to do with you. After saying that, he grabbed Lily Me and turned to leave. Little did he know that Sky Song Mu had already developed animosity towards him. She secretly thought to herself that this young man was nothing more than a money-grubbing playboy. I must make the girl see his true vile nature. Then I will take her under my wing. Sky Song Mu then turned around and gestured to his subordinates to find a place nearby to settle down. "We're not leaving today." She set up Luke Chen in order to trap him. So, after nightfall, Sky Song Mu asked Luke Chen to meet up, claiming to have a big business deal to discuss with him. "I found a large shopping mall not far away. I have already sent people to investigate. There are countless goods inside. But at the same time, there are also a large number of zombies there. How about we cooperate to take down that shopping mall? How about we split the supplies inside in half once we succeed?" Luke Chen knew from the moment he heard those words that the other party had no good intentions, as he had already been to that mall with Purple Me not long ago. The supplies in there had long been plundered by himself. Now, there's not even a hair left in the mall, only zombies. She actually wanted to trick me into cooperating with her to get supplies. It seems his intentions are very clear. He wants to take the opportunity to get rid of me and monopolize Lily Me. Don't be fooled by this young old lady's gentle appearance. She is a complete pervert. Not only does she believe that all men in the world are greedy and lustful, she also prohibits the female legion under her from dating men. Once discovered, they will definitely receive a beating from her. However, when she first saw Lily Me, she was completely enchanted and unable to resist. She also secretly vowed to snatch Lily Me away from Luke Chen. To this end, she also carefully planned a conspiracy. She intended to deceive Luke Chen into going with her to the nearby large shopping mall to collect supplies. Then she took the opportunity to get rid of Luke Chen inside. Unexpectedly, Luke Chen, this camper, did not play by the rules at all. Even though she promised to give him 70% of the goods after it was done, Luke Chen refused her goodwill on the spot. "I'm sorry, but I'm a bit of a coward. Even without thinking, I know there must be a lot of zombies there, so survival is crucial." Little did they know that the supplies in the mall had long been looted by Luke Chen. Upon hearing this, Sky Song-mu was speechless. He secretly thought, how could Lily Me team up with such a good-for-nothing? Just as I thought, he is nothing but a hypocritical and cowardly coward. In order to lure Luke Chen in, Sky Song-mu continued persuading. "Little brother, if you don't go with me now, it will be too late when you are hungry in the future." Upon hearing this, Luke Chen became more certain of his suspicion. Offering help without reason is either deceitful or thieving. So Luke Chen once again ruthlessly rejected her invitation. Imagining the repeated rejections, this malicious woman conceived even more evil thoughts. Seeing her leaving figure, Luke Chen also felt her deep malice. He did not want to quibble with a woman. But since she had made a move against him first, the situation was different now. Knowing Luke Chen's character, he would never go easy on someone threatening him. He then smirked and looked at the sleeping Thunder King. At the same time, on the other side, Sky Song-mu was anxiously knocking on someone else's door. She was shouting, "Brother Wind, are you home?" A man, who was like the wind, then opened the door and said, "Ah, it's Boss Mu. What wind brought you here?" "I wouldn't dare call myself Brother Wind in front of you. Just call me Wind Jiang." Sky Song-mu saw this situation and didn't waste time with him. She directly stated the purpose of this trip. "There is something I'd like to ask for your help with. Could you please use your wind element ability to lure some zombies to the mansion area tomorrow? Around 40 to 50 zombies should be enough. Once it's done, I'll let you join our team." The reason for not luring too many zombies is because she's afraid she won't be able to handle a large number of them herself. If there are too many, she won't be able to perform the heroic act of saving Lily Me. Upon hearing this, Brother Wind didn't ask much either. He immediately agreed to help out. Because joining Sky Song-mu's team was his lifelong dream. It turned out that this kid had long been in love with a girl in the female army called Little Lin. And his good buddy Pillars, Sue, happened to be working as a security guard over there. I wonder if he survived after the Doomsday outbreak. I can go look for him tomorrow. The next day, early in the morning, Wind Jiang arrived with a massive army of zombies at the villa area. He then directly charged toward the villa where Luke Chen lived. Unexpectedly, he collided head-on with Luke Chen and others who were out walking the dogs. This really scared Pillars. He hurriedly shouted, "Brother Wind, what are you doing?" Upon seeing this scene, Wind Jiang was stunned on the spot. Then he turned around and saw the approaching zombies behind him. He couldn't bother to explain to Pillars. Wind Jiang quickly used a flash step to run away. Thunder King was about to go up and deal with this desperate fugitive. But he was intercepted in time by Luke Chen. Because he also recognized this person. In their previous life, they were comrades in the same team. This kid has a good character and is very loyal. Due to Wind Jiang delivering takeout all year round, he has developed a pair of fast legs. He has also awakened the ability of Wind Element, allowing him to accelerate, so he is responsible for diverting the zombies every time. Luke Chen and Pillars take the opportunity to collect supplies. But how is it possible to walk by the river all the time without wetting shoes? In the end, he still tragically died surrounded by the zombies. Quickly diverted the zombies, and found the Pillars with Wind Jiang. He then immediately asked if the Pillars had recently offended anyone. "I was also asked by someone else to do this stupid thing. You should know that you live here. Even if you beat me to death, I won't take on this job." As soon as the words fell, Luke Chen said with a dark face, "The person who entrusted you is called Sky Song-mu, right?" Wind Jiang was immediately shocked when he heard it. Then he shouted, "How did you know? Do you two have a grudge? At the words, Chen snorted coldly. It turns out it was Sky Song-moo causing trouble behind the scenes. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being ruthless. Who would have thought that the beautiful and elegant lady in front of us is actually a crazy and perverted lunatic? She is willing to go to any lengths to recruit all the girls in Apocalypse under her command. Just because the girl she set her sights on refused to join her team, this vicious woman harbored murderous intentions towards the men around her. So she brought in an assassin to kill Chen. Sky Song-moo planned to wait until the job was done. Then she could take out the assassin to rescue Lily Me, not only silencing the killer, but also smoothly capturing Lily Me's heart. But who would have known that the assassin she hired turned out to be an acquaintance of Chen? As a result, not only did the plan fail, she ended up thoroughly angering Chen instead. At this moment, Sky Song-moo and others have already arrived at the villa area by car. They are ready to stage a hero saving the beauty scene to capture Lily Me at any time. Seeing the zombies crowded at Chen's door, she thought Wen Jiang had succeeded. So she immediately ordered to use the bus to crash through those zombies at the door and rescue Lily Me. But little did she know that one of the zombies not only cleverly avoided the impact, it also conjured a fireball with its hands. The zombie then threw the fireball towards the bus. At this moment, Chen also realized that something was wrong. He muttered to himself that it was a big trouble. This is the aura of a level 5 mutant. Zombies at this level not only have developed intelligence, but also use abilities to fight against humans. Following a deafening roar, all the girls panicked and hurriedly got out of the car. At this moment, Sky Song-moo shouted loudly, "Sisters, do not panic. Now everyone listen to my command. Concentrate firepower and take long-range attacks." After saying that, she used her psychic ability to control multiple knives and shot them towards the zombie. Unexpectedly, the mutant not only evaded all the attacks but also caught a swiftly flying knife with bare hands. The next second, the enraged zombie shot towards the Sky Song-moo who was attacking it. Sky Song-moo was quite frightened by this. She thought to herself, why out of so many people attacking it, did it come straight for me? Could this creature actually know the principle of capturing the mastermind first? She didn't have time to think too much about it. Sky Song-moo reached out and grabbed her former comrade in arms without hesitation. Then she pushed him in front of her without hesitation to shield herself from the knife. The girl didn't even have time to figure out what had happened. So he unknowingly drank his sorrows away in the northwest. And this scene happened to be witnessed by Chen, who happened to arrive just in time. He shouted, "I can't believe you're this kind of person!" At this moment, all the girls couldn't believe that they turned their gaze to Sky Song-moo. They all expressed, "Boss Moo, how could you do this? You actually used your sisters as shields." Faced with the accusations of everyone, Sky Song-moo ignored them and went straight to Chen on the side. She secretly thought to herself, since that useless Wen Jiang didn't get rid of you, then I'll personally take action today and feed you to the zombies. But before she could finish her sentence, Chen slapped her in the face with a loud smack and shouted, "You are not at all worthy of being a captain. You don't value your teammates' lives at all." At this moment, Sky Song-moo, who was already confused, became even more bewildered. She did not expect the terrifying power of this white-faced person. The strong force instantly sent her flying more than 20 meters away. Before she could figure out the situation, she landed perfectly in front of the mutant zombie. Seeing this, the zombie did not hold back against Chen either. It directly pierced through Sky Song-moo's chest with one claw. But just then, Cloud Shu suddenly rushed towards the zombie with a gas canister in her arms, shouting to her sisters to disperse. "I will perish with it." Chen, who saw the scene, was suddenly shocked and turned pale. He secretly thought that this girl is truly a heroine among women. At a critical moment of life and death, she was willing to sacrifice her own life to protect her teammates. I cannot bear to let such a righteous and compassionate person die like this. What happens when a zombie's IQ reaches 250? It will dodge cars coming straight at it. It can also control its desire to bite people. It will also use its ability to launch long-range attacks against humans. Ordinary zombies will act like crazy dogs when they see living people, biting whoever they catch. And yet it understands the principle of catching the ringleader first. It directly rushed over and took out the leader of the opposing girl group first. Cloud Shu, who saw the scene, didn't say a word and rushed towards Zombie with a gas tank, wanting to sacrifice herself to save the other sisters. And her fearless spirit deeply touched Luke Chen, who is so affectionate and righteous. Luke Chen was not willing to let her die like this. Then he conjured a 40-meter void sword with a backhand swing, which frightened the mutant zombie greatly. It quickly conjured 2 fireballs, prepared to rush over and take out Luke Chen in a second. But the next second, Luke Chen vanished into thin air right before its eyes. Before Zombie could figure out the situation, Luke Chen mysteriously appeared behind it. With a quick swish, the mutant zombie's head fell off its body, and this smooth operation instantly shocked everyone present. They all exclaimed that this man is too powerful. At this time, Luke Chen shouted sternly, "Girl, what are you standing there for? Why haven't you thrown away the gas can in your hand and waiting for it to explode?" At this moment, Cloud Shu, who had regained his senses, hurriedly threw the time bomb into the air. Thanks to Luke Chen's timely reminder, Cloud Shu narrowly saved his life. Right after that, the girl's legs went weak, and she fell to her knees, starting to cry uncontrollably. And Luke Chen quickly retrieved a chicken egg-sized level 5 crystal from the mutant. Next, Luke Chen helped Cloud Shu up from the ground and asked her about her plans. At this, Cloud Shu looked at her sisters beside her, because at this moment, she also felt very confused. Now that their leader, Sky Song Mu, had died, nobody could decide on what to do next. At this moment, Luke Chen solemnly spoke. "I wonder if my sisters have any thoughts about joining my team. I can assure everyone, following me, at the very least, you won't have to endure hunger and hardship in the future. I know that you are all feeling very complicated right now. You don't need to rush to respond to me. Whenever you have made up your mind, you can come to my villa to find me at any time." After saying this, Luke Chen turned around and left gracefully. However, he had just arrived home for a short while when a knocking sound came from the door. He pushed the door open and saw that indeed Cloud Shu had arrived with more than 20 sisters seeking refuge with him. Cloud Shu spoke resolutely. "Luke Chen, you just saved all of us. That's why all the sisters are willing to join your team." Upon hearing this, Luke Chen immediately expressed his gratitude for everyone's trust. "However, joining my team means you must abide by my rules. Let's first establish some rules. If you can accept them, then I agree to your joining. The first rule is to unconditionally obey my orders. Of course, I will never force you to do anything obscene. Everyone can rest assured on this point. The second rule is that there is no distinction between men and women in my team. Everyone must fight when the time comes. Don't tell me later that you are a girl and you are scared. The third rule is the most important. If everyone wants to find a partner, we should prioritize our own team members. It is also possible to look for someone from outside. However, the prerequisite is to make sure that they join our team to prevent others from exploiting us and extracting our internal secrets. This is also for everyone's safety." As soon as this was mentioned, everyone expressed their acceptance. "We are all willing to follow you." Upon hearing this, Luke Chen immediately expressed his welcome to your joining. "I now appoint Cloud Shu as the squad leader of the Women's Legion. In the future, you can find Cloud Shu to contact me for anything. Everyone come in. In a moment, I will give everyone a surprise." In Apocalypse, a bag of gold can only be exchanged for a hot dog, while vinegar-stirred shredded potatoes for 5 yuan can capture the hearts of 20 girls. To celebrate the addition of the girl group, Luke Chen has carefully prepared a surprise for everyone. Later, Feather Fong and others brought several boxes of Lao Gan Ma chili sauce. They gave 2 bottles to each girl. Seeing that the food here at Luke Chen's place was so good, the girls they liked also joined Luke Chen's team. Wen Jiang quickly said, "Brother Chen, can you please let me join your team as a favor to Pillars?" Luke Chen didn't even think twice and agreed to Wen Jiang's request. After all, this young man had done him a favor in the past, and his character and abilities were both excellent. So Luke Chen couldn't think of any reason to refuse him. Among these newly recruited team members, Cloud Shu has the best qualifications. She awakened her ability on the first day of the apocalypse. Anyone who can awaken on the first day possesses the potential to become a king-level ability user. Therefore, he can consider nurturing her as a core member, in order to test Cloud Shu's current level of strength. So Luke Chen decided to take them to the nearby clothing wholesale market for some experience later. On one hand, he can train everyone's ability to collaborate in combat. On the other hand, he can also collect some supplies. After all, everyone also needs some clean clothes to change into. Soon, Luke Chen led the team to the clothing market, although there were many zombies here. But Luke Chen had no intention of taking action. Instead, he entrusted the team leadership to Pillars and Lily Me, because he also wants to see for himself the overall strength of this female legion, in order to avoid any unexpected occurrences. Luke Chen also arranged for Wen Jiang to be responsible for controlling the number of zombies on site. Once the number of zombies surrounding the female legion exceeds 20, Wen Jiang will lead away some of them. Zombies that quickly sense the smell of living humans gathered around everyone. Seeing this, the girls immediately opened fire and engaged in combat with the zombies. But their attacks are not hitting the mark. It's just that multiple abilities that overlap hit a single zombie. Luke Chen, who saw this scene, couldn't help but gasp. Clearly, this kind of low-level zombie can be instantly killed by one ability. As a result, they wasted multiple ability damage points on the same target, causing severe overflow of damage. It can be said that this group of girls had no cooperation at all. If it wasn't for me arranging Lily Me to manage the scene with Pillars, and Wen Jiang controlling the number of zombies, these girls would have died 1,000 times over. It seems that he needs some more time to let them form combat effectiveness. However, what reassures Luke Chen is that none of these girls have deserted in the face of the enemy. To reward everyone, Luke Chen announced that everyone can choose some clothes they like. When this was said, the girls who had just collapsed suddenly perked up. They all joyfully started zero-cost shopping, and Luke Chen also sneakily picked out some women's clothing. This scene happened to be seen by Lily Me behind them. She wondered if this guy had some special preferences. Or maybe he wants to bring it back as a gift for Purple Me. But just as Lily Me was imagining it in her mind, a girl suddenly shouted, "Sisters, I found a small supermarket. There are a lot of water and food inside. Come and take a look." Shortly after, Cloud Shu and the others arrived at the supermarket. Even though they haven't had water for a day and a night, Cloud Shu still instructed the sisters not to drink yet. Then she found Luke Chen and explained the situation to him. She asked if they could distribute a bottle of water to each sister first. Everyone was really thirsty. Luke Chen was very pleased with Cloud Shu's organized and disciplined behavior. He immediately said, "How can one bottle be enough? Give each person 2 bottles. Purple Me, who saw this scene, couldn't help but exclaim, "I'm really lucky. Since meeting brother Luke Chen, he has never let me go thirsty or hungry again. So, I have to have a showdown with him today." After returning home, Purple Me found Luke Chen alone and then had a psychological building session with him. Purple Me finally mustered up the courage to reveal her feelings to Luke Chen. "Luke Chen, actually, I was smitten with you the first time I saw you. Can I be your girlfriend?" In Apocalypse, $1 million gold brick can only be used as a table prop, while a watermelon priced at 80 cents per pound can make a beautiful woman fall into your arms. To be able to have a satisfying meal, the woman even took the initiative to propose to him. Luke Chen also didn't beat around the bush. He directly responded with practical actions. But at this moment, Luke Chen discovered that Rice was sitting beside him eating melon with a focused expression, which made him feel extremely uncomfortable. Curiosity killed the cat. At this moment, it was fully demonstrated in Rice. Before it could figure out the situation, it was thrown out of the room by Chen mercilessly, just like a rag. This made Rice very angry. He quickly criticized Chen for being inclined towards love affairs and neglecting friendships. Don't think I don't know that you bullied Purple Me in the room. And this sentence happened to be overheard by Lily Me, who just passed by. Lily Me was about to break in to see what was going on, but then suddenly stopped in her tracks. She thought to herself, after all, it was that girl's own choice. Besides, her liking for Chen has not been a casual thing for a day or two. Let her have her wish fulfilled. As the upcoming plot is not very interesting, why don't everyone share their phone battery levels in the comments section? See if there is anyone with the same battery level as you. You can start a conversation and get to know each other better. The next early morning, Chen emerged from his room with a radiant expression. He looked at Rice, who was lying on the sofa looking sulky. Chen quickly picked it up and asked with concern, "Rice, would you like a delicious little fish treat?" Upon hearing this, Rice immediately snorted coldly. "Chen, you've changed. How can you treat me like that just now? Do you think I will forgive you just because you give me a little fish treat?" Chen, upon hearing this, smiled slightly. "What about those 10 fish treats?" Upon hearing this, Rice immediately said, "I am a cat with principles. It's not impossible for me to forgive you, but you must give me 20 fish treats." Upon hearing this, Chen didn't even think twice and agreed to Rice's request. He also said that there would be plenty of fish treats in the future. "But Rice, you have grown up now. You must learn to sleep like a cat in the future, you know?" After settling Rice's matter, Chen gathered all the new members together. The terrible battle yesterday also showed him a lot of problems. So he tailored a training plan for each person based on their situation. Element Class Ability User Chen, who possesses long-range attack capabilities, arranged for them to undergo target shooting training. He wanted to ensure that they could all hit the bullseye without fail. And for a close combat ability user like Wen Jiang, Chen had Lily Me use her ability to attack him. Close combat ability users usually charge at the front line of the team, so they must learn to dodge ability attacks. In the previous life, Wen Jiang was the one who struggled in the gutter with a level 1 zombie. Because as long as the zombie reaches level 1, it will awaken the ability to attack from a distance. Chen estimates that before long, a large number of level 1 zombies will appear on this land. So before that happens, he must ensure that every member of his team is equipped with the ability to deal with this type of zombie. Subsequently, Chen found Jade Ma and asked her to improve the meals for everyone at noon today. Not only to celebrate his relationship with Purple Me, but also to reward the hard-working team members who have been training diligently. Chen also realized this. It seems a bit overwhelming for Jade Ma to cook for so many people alone. So he brought in little Lin to help her out. This person is the girl that Wen Jiang is interested in. She is an ability user of the light class. Soon, they prepared a large table full of delicious dishes. Because the living room couldn't accommodate so many people, Chen moved the dining table to the yard. When everyone saw such a lavish feast, they couldn't help but shed tears of excitement from the corners of their eyes. Keep in mind that besides Chen and a few core team members, where else have people seen so much fish and meat after the apocalypse? At this moment, the girls from the Women's Legion can't help but exclaim. Fortunately, we chose to join Brother Chen's team at the beginning. Otherwise, how could we have the opportunity to enjoy such delicious food? But what Chen never expected is that it was precisely because of the fragrant and delicious food on the table that attracted an old, dilapidated car. Only to see a man and a woman got out of the car smelling the delicious aroma. Seeing this, everyone suddenly became extremely vigilant. Because in this food-scarce apocalypse, disasters triggered by the pursuit of a mouthful of food are everywhere. In the apocalypse, just a bunch of grapes can make a top female star kneel down and lick. Half a steamed bun can make any excessive request to a girl. What is more precious than food is the most common drinking water on weekdays. Only because the water sources were contaminated after the Doomsday outbreak. People want to get access to drinkable water. They can only wait for the rain. And the brother and sister who haven't eaten for 3 days in front of him. In order to be able to drink a mouthful of clean water, they are willing to give up all their food in exchange. Chen relaxed his guard upon realizing that they meant no harm. He then asked Cloud Shu to bring 2 bottles of mineral water to exchange with them. But when the girl saw Chen and they were having a feast, she immediately said, "Big brother, do you still need more people here? My brother and I would also like to join." Upon hearing this, Chen smiled faintly. "I don't recruit useless people here. If you want to join us, you are to go hunt and kill 10 zombies now, and then extract the crystals from their heads to come find me." Once this was said, the girl's brother instead let down his guard. If Chen agrees to let them join directly, he will feel that something is amiss. Then the 2 turned their heads and quickly walked back. They shouted loudly, "Let's go back right now!" In no time at all, the 2 siblings exceeded the task. Carrying the 20 crystals they took from the zombie, they found Chen. Seeing the performance of the 2, Chen was very satisfied. So he quickly asked them when they awakened. Upon hearing this, the man said, "I'm Ming Li. I awakened the ability of the strength class on the 3rd day. My sister, Hui Li, awakened hers on the 2nd day. But I'm not sure which faction her ability belongs to. You seem experienced. Maybe you can take a look." After speaking, the younger sister condensed a purple ability in her palm. Chen, who saw this scene, was suddenly shocked and turned pale. He secretly thought that he had hit the jackpot this time. He never expected that this younger sister would awaken a dark class ability. She is a great player in team battles. Not only can she use spells to weaken enemies, but she can also summon undead creatures to fight. Chen then congratulated you for passing my test. But the rule here is, after joining, you must unconditionally obey orders. If you can accept that, then you will follow me in the future. As soon as the words fell, the 2 siblings shouted in unison, "I accept." Seeing this, Chen didn't hesitate either. He quickly asked Jade Ma to add a few more dishes to welcome him. Taking this opportunity, Chen also announced his good news with purple meat to everyone. Upon hearing this, everyone raised their glasses to express their blessings to the young couple. After the dinner party ended, this young couple was escorted to the bridal chamber. As the following plot is not very pleasant to watch, I won't explain it in detail for everyone. Feel free to imagine it on your own. The next morning, early in the day, Chen led the team once again to a high-end residential area to collect supplies. Although Chen was very satisfied with everyone's training results yesterday, he believed that practical combat was the only true test of the theory. Upon reaching the destination, with a command from Chen, all ability users of the element system on the car immediately began to methodically clean up the zombies around the vehicle. The pillars took the opportunity to swiftly disembark with strength class ability users and began to transport supplies. Seeing everyone cooperate so seamlessly, Chen felt doubly gratified. Under the collective efforts of all team members, the rear compartment of the heavy truck was soon filled with supplies. Just at this moment, a young woman suddenly shouted, "Report to the captain! I found another large supermarket over there. There are still a lot of supplies inside." Lily Me immediately couldn't wait and rushed in. She thought to herself that a supermarket of this size should have that thing. Then she came to the shelf next to the cashier and began to search. This unusual scene happened to be seen by Cloud Shu, who arrived shortly after. Driven by curiosity, Cloud Shu slowly approached behind Lily Me. But when she saw what Lily Me was looking for, she was instantly shocked and blushed. The first thing a woman did after the apocalypse broke out. She actually rushed into the supermarket in a panic to find condoms. The onlookers thought this girl had gone crazy. Nowadays, things are like this. She actually didn't bring food but brought this thing. Is she so thirsty and impatient? Lily Me just wanted to explain, but the other party didn't give her the chance at all. They immediately found an excuse and left in a hurry. At this moment, Lily Me feels so embarrassed that she feels like she can pick out a 3-bedroom apartment with her toes. She thought to herself, if it weren't for her younger sister, would she do such a humiliating thing? Meanwhile, on the other side, due to Chen and their team making too much noise while collecting supplies, instantly caught the attention of the survivors upstairs. At this moment, a middle-aged woman on the 3rd floor shouted loudly, "Young man, Andy can tell at a glance that you are a helpful, handsome guy. Could you help me bring a durian up? Andy really likes it." When this was said, everyone started asking Chen to bring them supplies. Some asked him to bring 2 bottles of huazhou, some asked for a few bottles of Maotai, and even more outrageously, some suggested he bring a girl. It's really shameless, each one more shameless than the last. Seeing this, Chen didn't give them a good face either. He directly replied, "Don't you have long legs? Can't you come down and get it yourself if you want to eat?" Chen then gestured for everyone to continue moving. Don't mind them. The group of survivors upstairs was quite enraged by this. So everyone picked up pots and pans and rushed downstairs. Normally, when it's all zombies below, this group of people is more cowardly than the next. They would rather starve than go downstairs. Now that they've seen Chen, they've taken care of all the zombies downstairs. This group of people is each braver than the next. They shouted angrily at Chen and the others, demanding them to put down the things quickly. "Didn't your mother teach you that taking things without permission is stealing?" Upon hearing this, Chen snorted coldly and commented, "Is this supermarket owned by your family?" At this time, a middle-aged man spoke solemnly, "Don't say another word. This supermarket is indeed owned by my family. My younger brother was the boss here. He passed away recently." Seeing this, everyone expressed their opinions one after another. "Quickly stop his heavy-duty truck filled with goods. Don't let him steal our supplies." As they spoke, someone prepared to climb onto the heavy-duty truck and drive it away. Seeing the situation, Chen did not indulge them either. He shouted directly, "I want to see who dares to touch my car today." At this time, an old man walked over arrogantly and said, "So you're saying you want to use force, huh? Give me a punch and let me see. I've been in the pottery industry for decades. If you dare touch me, I'll pretend to fall down and won't get up. Without paying me 1 to 2 million, you won't be able to leave this residential area today." Saying that, the old man moved his face close to Chen. Seeing this, Chen didn't hold back either. After all, such a reasonable request. It's indeed a bit unreasonable not to comply with it. He then slapped the old man on the face with the back of his hand. His strong force instantly sent him flying more than 10 meters away. The old man was lying on the ground motionless. A woman hurried forward to check the situation. "Old Wang, it's almost acting. You really played the part quite well. Quickly get up and demand compensation from him." At this time, Chen coldly said, "What are you all standing there for? Can't you see someone trying to rob us? Attack them all." A man who claimed to be Teacher Ma immediately stood up. With a loud shout, he said, "I have been roaming the martial arts world for decades. I detest young people like you who have no martial ethics. Taste my lightning 5-whip combo." But before he had a chance to display his extraordinary martial arts skills, Lily Me's flame class ability knocked Teacher Ma down, leaving him defenseless. However, just as the elderly men and women had left, a few young people immediately walked over to Chen and the others. How evil is human nature in apocalypse exactly? Just for a bucket of instant noodles, the old man brought dozens of people to gang up on the man. And the old man also threatened him that if he didn't hand over the instant noodles, he wouldn't be able to leave the neighborhood alive today. But before he could finish his sentence, the old man was slapped by Chen and was sent flying backwards. At this moment, he realized that he might have offended the wrong person today. Seeing this, everyone was scared and fled in a panic, looking embarrassed. However, the group of elderly men and women had just left. A few young people came over aggressively towards Chen just after the elderly group left. At a glance, Chen recognized that the man leading the group was Chen. In a past life, Chen briefly interacted with him when he just awakened his ability. This person dares to fight and is a tough character. It's a pity that Chen joined him for a few days, and then he died at the hands of the zombies. He saw a few people walking towards him. Chen immediately snorted and said, "What? Do you also want to come and snatch supplies?" The man quickly explained, "Brother, you misunderstood. We are here to make friends. My name is Chen. To be frank, I have a favor to ask. I would like to ask all the heroes to help me. After the matter is settled, I will give you 500 caddies of rice and 10 barrels of water." Upon hearing this, Chen smiled slightly and said, "I am Chen. How do you want us to help you?" At this moment, Chen spoke solemnly. "Recently, a highly powerful zombie dog has appeared in our neighborhood. It not only awakens the thunder ability, but also possesses some intelligence. It will suddenly appear and launch a surprise attack whenever it sees me going out alone to search for supplies. Several of our brothers have died at the hands of this monster. I see that you, Brother Chen, have many people at your disposal, so I wanted to ask for your help in solving this problem together." As soon as Chen heard this, he immediately agreed to help. It's not because of any reward that Chen is willing to lend a hand. It's because his team members are also collecting supplies in this community. If he doesn't deal with this zombie dog, his subordinates might also be attacked by that creature. Chen estimates that the level of that zombie dog is definitely not higher than level 3, otherwise Chen and the others would have died a long time ago. Although the level 2 crystal is no longer useful to him at the moment, it would be a good choice to use it to upgrade Purple Me. Thinking about this, Chen immediately ordered everyone to continue transporting supplies. "I will go with this Brother Chen to take a look. Thunder King, let's go." With those words spoken, Chen was suddenly shocked and turned pale. He quickly shouted, "Brother Chen, you're not joking, are you? How can you go alone?" At the words, Chen chuckled. "How come it's just me alone? Haven't you seen my brother Thunder King also came along? You can set your heart at ease. Just focus on leading the way for us." When Chen was so insistent, Chen didn't have much to say. Then he took Chen to a garden in the residential area. The zombie dog usually appears in this area. We have encountered it many times before. However, due to limited manpower, it always manages to escape. We haven't found a way to deal with it yet. Chen immediately stated that the dog will definitely not escape today. As long as it dares to show up, I will make sure it won't leave. Upon hearing this, Chen immediately asked Chen what his plan was, as he was truly very curious. He himself, along with so many others, were powerless against that beast. Where did Chen's confidence come from to say that he would ensure it won't leave once it appears? Chen did not respond to his question. Instead, he signaled for Thunder King to go nearby and actively search for prey. Chen, who saw this scene, immediately froze in place. Then he yelled, "Brother, do you have a grudge against this dog?" A group of ability users like us couldn't handle the zombie dog. How could you just send such a small local dog there? But before he could finish his sentence, a series of woof 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 screams came from not far away. How terrifying it would be when a Tibetan Mastiff mutates into a zombie dog. Not only can it kill a top-tier ability user with just one bite, but this dog has also awakened the strongest offensive talent, Thunder ability, making it such a formidable presence. Without even taking a turn in front of this little dog, the zombie dog immediately launched multiple Thunder ability attacks at Thunder King. Unexpectedly, Thunder King smoothly dodged all the attacks with his fancy footwork. Then Thunder King found the right moment. He directly pounced forward and executed a move called Thunder Tail Sweep. The lightning fiercely struck the zombie dog's face. The strong force instantly sent this dog flying out. The electrocuted zombie dog was immediately defeated. Chen, who saw the scene, was shocked and lost color. He thought to himself, "Does a dog really have this kind of strength? Why do I feel like it's over before it even started?" Chen, upon seeing this situation, smiled slightly. "Then let's end our cooperation here," he said. "Don't forget to send over the supplies you promised me." After saying that, Chen stepped forward and took out the crystal of the zombie dog. Chen on the side was quite frightened by this. He quickly shouted, "Chen, brother, what are you doing?" He realized that Chen didn't know the function of crystal. Chen didn't hide anything and straightforwardly told him the secret of crystal. After learning that crystal can actually enhance the level of ability users, Chen immediately expressed his gratitude to Chen. Such an important secret. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say it's worth 10 billion. Brother Chen, you actually told us without even thinking about it. We are truly grateful for your great kindness. I will go back with my brothers right away to collect resources for you. Later, Chen took Thunder King back to the community. At this moment, the heavy truck is almost filled with supplies. Not long after, Chen and others brought the rewards to find Chen and Ding Qing. There are at least 2.5 tons of rice. There are also more than 10 buckets of clean water. At this time, Chen smiled and said, "Brother Chen, don't think it's too little. I know that these things are nothing compared to Crystal's secrets. Consider the extra as our little token of goodwill. Also, I wonder if Brother Chen has any thoughts on forming an alliance. I'm not bragging, but all my brothers here are courageous and fearless. There's absolutely no weak link. Would you consider joining forces with us?" Upon hearing this, Chen immediately became uneasy. He promptly stated that there is no talk of forming an alliance on his end. He is open to your joining, but rejects the idea of an alliance. Here is something you may not want to hear. Even if everyone teams up against me, they still wouldn't be a match for me. Moreover, from ancient times to the present, there has been no precedent of a strong joining forces with the weak, only the principle of the weak depending on the strong. But just at this moment, Chen's companion suddenly ran over and shouted that a major incident had occurred. "Our people were just attacked by zombies. A zombie with the ability has severely injured one of our brothers. Hurry over to take a look." Upon seeing this, Chen also followed over with Purple Me. When they arrived, they found that the person's wound was still bleeding profusely. They were almost out of their last breath. Chen did not hesitate either. He quickly signaled for Purple Me to help them out. After Purple Me performed healing magic on the wounded person, the person's wound healed at a visible speed in an instant. Immediately after seeing the man miraculously stand up, Chen and others promptly thanked Purple Me. Seeing that the man was unharmed, Chen then turned and left with Purple Me. Before leaving, Chen also mentioned for them to consider his earlier proposal. "We won't stay here for too long. If you change your mind, you can come find me anytime." Later, Chen gathered all the brothers. After a discussion, Chen then took his men to find Chen, indicating that everyone was willing to follow you in the future. But what Chen never expected was, at this moment, a group of uninvited guests broke into their headquarters. They actually wanted to forcibly seize territory while Chen was away. How awesome is this man? The cat he raises has the ability to foresee the future. The guard dog at home has awakened the strongest talent of Lightning 5-Whip combo. He himself has awakened an extremely rare spatial ability. Not only that, he also recruited a group of strong individuals to form his own power. But these short-sighted fools took advantage of the man leading the team to collect supplies outside, and brazenly came to seize his territory. But at this moment, there are only 2 remaining members in the base, watching as the group of people gradually approach the area where supplies are stored. One member quickly asked what to do now. There are at least a dozen people on the other side. We definitely can't beat them. Upon hearing this, Feather Fong immediately stated that no matter what, we must intercept them. These are the supplies that everyone exchanged their lives for. Calculating the time, Brother Chen, they should be coming back soon. Let's go down first to delay some time. After saying that, the two of them rushed down and stood in front of the group of people. Then they shouted, "What are you trying to do? This is private property." At the same time, Chen had also led the majority of the troops back to the outside of the base. But soon, he discovered that something was wrong. At this moment, not only were several foreign vehicles parked at the entrance of the community, but there were also many people gathered in front of his residence. Upon seeing the situation, Chen immediately ordered everyone to quickly go back to support Feather Fang. However, just as he got off the car, he encountered an old acquaintance from a past life. This person named Wei Lu is an ability user of poison class. The toxic gas he releases can be as powerful as a biochemical weapon. In the previous life, after Silly Chen caused trouble for him and the pillars, he found this guy to rely on. It really is a narrow path for enemies to meet. At this moment, a boastful little Gargas walked up to Heavy Card. Then shouted, "If I'm not mistaken, there should be supplies inside. It's the rules of the Jianghu. We split it halfway when we meet." But before he could finish his sentence, Wei Lu slapped him right across the face with a crisp smack. "Do you understand the rules, you brat? This is supplies collected at the risk of one's life. Why should I split it half with you when we meet?" Then he nodded and bowed to Chen. "Sorry, my brother's mind is not working too well. Sorry for the trouble. We didn't realize this area belongs to you. We'll leave now." After saying that, he left in a hurry with his subordinates. Even so, Rise still sensed that this person was full of malice towards Chen. In order to figure out what this guy is up to, Chen ordered everyone to secretly follow them. At this moment, the little Gargas who was just hit curiously asked, "Boss, why did you hit me just now? With so many of us, are we afraid of that kid?" Upon hearing this, Wei Lu immediately knocked his head angrily and said, "You idiot! Use your brain more in everything. You can't gain any advantage by fighting. Isn't sneaking up on someone a better option?" Upon hearing this, Chen was instantly enraged. He muttered to himself, "In that case, none of you will leave today." The next moment, a spatial spell orb accurately landed on Wei Lu's head, instantly sending him to the underworld. At this moment, Chen coldly commanded, "Brothers, get them. Leave no one behind." After dealing with this group of unruly people, Chen returned home to prepare for a good night's sleep. However, as soon as he lay down, a sudden urgent knocking came from outside the door. He was overjoyed because he knew that his wife Purple Me was the one coming to find him so late at night. But to his surprise, when he opened the door and took a look, it turned out to be his older sister-in-law Lily Me. He hadn't even figured out the situation yet. Lily Me blushed and promptly handed him a black bag. "There are 99 girls in the whole village. 100 of them want to have a baby monkey with this man. Even his older sister-in-law comes to knock on his door in the middle of the night. She even brought him a sack of condoms. Is it the distortion of human nature or the loss of morals that led the proud and cold-blooded Rose Fire Princess to commit such vulgar acts? It turns out it's because his elder sister is worried about him. He is not ready to be a father yet. So she took the opportunity to collect supplies while he was out. She specifically packed some for him. He wanted to not disappoint his elder sister's kind gesture." Chen turned his head and rushed into Purple Me's room. Since the following plot is not very pleasant, I'll skip this part directly. The next morning, Rice anxiously found Chen early in the morning. It expressed a hunch that a major event would occur in 2 days. The world is about to face a terrifying upheaval. Chen immediately knew that this was a sign that the zombies were about to evolve. By then, most of the zombies will have evolved to level 1. Upon thinking about this, Chen immediately took out the level 5 flame class crystal he obtained from the mutant. Although this thing is very useful for himself, he cannot directly level up to level 5. He might as well take it out first, and let a few trusted subordinates enhance their strength. The energy of this crystal is enough for everyone to upgrade to level 3. Later, Chen found Lily and said, "I really liked the gift you gave me yesterday." Courtesy calls for reciprocity. I must also express my gratitude. Upon hearing these words, Lily's face turned red instantly. A wave of inexplicable shame surged through her heart. I thought this guy came over to make fun of me on purpose. Unexpectedly, Chen handed her a flame-class crystal. He said, "You use this first to level up to level 3. After you're done, then I will give it to someone else." Seeing this, Lily didn't stand on ceremony with him. After all, this is also a gesture from her brother-in-law. Then Chen followed suit. Using this piece of crystal, he also helped several other original members elevate to level 3. But the strange thing is, after the other members leveled up, their abilities all showed significant improvement. Only Rice, however, has not changed in the slightest. Could it be that its precognitive abilities have been enhanced? The next morning, Chen gathered all the members of the base early. He shared the news that the zombies were about to evolve to level 1 with everyone. However, everyone doesn't need to panic too much. Let me now teach you how to deal with this kind of zombie. The biggest difference between level 1 zombie and low-level zombie is that they will use ability to attack us. Therefore, we must master some evasion techniques. I will demonstrate it for everyone now. Chen then asked Lily and Cloud Shu to use ability to attack him. Upon hearing this, the two of them did not hesitate. They immediately used the soul fusion technique, ice and fire dual heaven, towards Chen. But who knew that this explosively powerful attack was easily dodged by Chen with a simple jump. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked and started shouting, "Captain is awesome! How did he manage to do that after all?" At this point, Chen said solemnly, "Actually, it's quite simple. I was just following their spellcasting gestures, predicting the trajectory of their attacks, and then jumping ahead of time to avoid them." As long as everyone masters this technique, dealing with level 1 zombies will be quite simple in the future. Although they have gained some intelligence, they are definitely not smart enough to predict this situation. If you encounter a predicting zombie, remember, do not hesitate. Just run directly, because that kind of zombie is not something you can deal with. Next, everyone should find opponents to train with individually. After lunch, groups of 4 will go out to hunt and kill zombies. Before dinner, everyone must return to the base. Each person must obtain 20 level 1 crystals. If one person in your team fails to complete the task, the whole group will be punished collectively. Later, Chen also left the base with Purple and others. On the way, they encountered a group of survivors bullying a girl. Seeing this, Purple quickly shouted, "That person is my best friend! Brother Chen, can I go down to help her?" Upon hearing this, Chen smiled slightly. "How can I let you go? Just leave it to Thunder King." Thunder King also has great insight. Without saying a word, he jumped out of the car. But when the crowd saw a wild dog rushing over, they burst into laughter. They all shouted to catch it and said, "We'll have meat to eat tonight." Don't be fooled by the harmless appearance of this wild dog. It can kill a zombie with just one fart as an ability user. But several ignorant beings want to catch it to replenish themselves. As a result, as soon as a few people approached, Thunder King burst out a terrifying electrical surge all over his body. It instantly electrocuted the group of little Gargas, leaving them crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. It happened just now. Chen and the others encountered a group of survivors bullying a girl. Purple immediately recognized that the girl was her childhood friend. So she begged Chen to come over and help her. Chen did not dawdle either. Thunder King was immediately dispatched to rescue. After dealing with the group of little Gargas, Purple immediately rushed over and shouted, "Don't be afraid, Jing Jing. Thunder King is the elder brother Chen sent to rescue you all." Upon seeing the situation, the two immediately expressed their gratitude to Chen for saving them. "I'm Zhang Jing Jing, and Purple is my childhood friend whom I've known since we were young. This is my father Fei Zhang. I just thank Brother Luke Chen for his righteous act of saving us. I wonder if your team is still recruiting members. We really have nowhere else to go now." Out of respect for Purple Me, Luke Chen didn't have the heart to refuse. So he directly took them back to the base. But who knew, as soon as they got off the car, Zhang Jingjing said she wanted to sleep in the same room as Purple Me. Seeing this, Luke Chen didn't indulge her either. He immediately stated that only core members were allowed to stay in this villa. Cloud Shu is also very insightful. She immediately took Zhang Jingjing to their side. Seeing that she was so familiar with the captain's wife, Cloud Shu arranged for Zhang Jingjing to have dinner with herself. You should know that for new members who have just entered the base, having a bowl of rice to eat is already very good. Even when Lily Me first joined, she only had white rice to eat. While today they are eating braised pork with potatoes. But Zhang Jingjing is eating meat voraciously, while asking Purple Me what they had for lunch. Why isn't everyone eating together? Cloud Shu immediately knew that her words were meant to show off. So she promptly stated that there are hundreds of people at our base now. How can there be such a big place for everyone to eat together? Isn't braised pork with potatoes satisfying enough for you? Although she claimed she didn't mean it that way, deep down she was definitely thinking that Purple Me must be eating better than them. Not thoughtful at all. Having delicious food and not inviting me, how impolite. At the same time, Luke Chen is instructing Purple Me not to tell our secret to Zhang Jingjing first. Although that person is your close girlfriend, I also want to observe her for a while first. If her abilities and character are both good, I will naturally treat her well. Upon hearing this, Purple Me quickly nodded to indicate that she understood. But just then, suddenly, a voice came through the intercom. It was Feather Fong's voice. "Brother Chen, something big has happened. There are suddenly more than a dozen cars at the entrance of our base, requesting backup." Upon seeing the situation, Luke Chen immediately ordered Cloud Shu to rush to the entrance to support Feather Fong, and to bring Zhang Jingjing along as well. No need to treat her differently. Shortly after, Cloud Shu immediately notified everyone to set aside their utensils and prepare for battle, before Zhang Jingjing could even figure out the situation. Cloud Shu then asked her what type of ability user she was. After learning that she was in the strength class, Cloud Shu arranged for her to stand at the front of the team later. Upon hearing this, Zhang Jingjing immediately grabbed Hui Li beside her and shouted, "Why should I stand in the front as cannon fodder? How come she gets to stand at the back?" Hui Li quickly explained, "I belong to the dark class and am a long-range attack ability user, so Sister Cloud arranged for me to stand at the back." Seeing the situation, Cloud Shu did not indulge her. He directly pulled her to the entrance of the base. Purple Me, who witnessed the scene, quickly stepped forward to comfort Jingjing. "Don't be afraid. I will always buff you and provide healing support," she said. But at that moment, she noticed the cream at the corner of Purple Me's mouth. She whispered to herself, "As I suspected. She didn't even bother to bring me along when there's good food. Won't even say a word to help me in a life or death situation. You're just getting close to the leader of a small gang. So what's the big deal? You act like a middle school student, then don't blame me for acting like a high school student. Who would have thought that this charming and lovely girl in front of us is actually a beast worse than a beast?" The man kindly rescued her from the tyrant's hands. The man also brought her back to the base and provided her with food and drink. But she not only did not show gratitude, but also took advantage of him when the base was in danger. Just now, a group of unexpected guests suddenly broke into the base. Seeing the situation, Feather Fong and others immediately blocked them and stated that this is a private property and they are not allowed to enter. But this group of people arrogantly shouted, "Kid, don't be arrogant. My big brother is a level 2 ability user. Be smart and get out of here." "Look," Luke Chen brought his men over. Guang Chen quickly said, "Brother Chen, we have already warned them." But they didn't listen. At this moment, a burly man with a scruffy beard walked over and said, "Young man, you must be the boss here. To be honest, We are also at the end of our rope, which is why we resorted to forcefully intruding on your territory. My brothers and I haven't eaten anything for a day and a night. Could you please provide us with some food to help us in our time of need?" Upon hearing this, Chen smirked. "So, are you saying that you had food yesterday? It is absolutely impossible to give it away. But you can use crystal to exchange with me. I don't have any extra food here either. But since we are both survivors, I can reluctantly exchange a little with you." But at this moment, the burly man found that on Chen's side, there were only some girls, including Chen himself. In his eyes, there was not a single person who could fight. I sneered, as a level 2 ability user, facing just a pretty boy with a group of girls. Who gave him the courage? Evil thoughts instantly surged in his mind. Then he arrogantly said, "We don't ask for much. Just give us a dozen tons of rice and a few hundred barrels of water. Kid, let me tell you, if you push my brothers too far, I can't guarantee you they won't do anything extreme." This statement thoroughly infuriated Chen, and he was about to go up and get rid of this ignorant fool. Suddenly, Zhang Jingjing's voice came from behind him. "Just give them some food, Chen. Why do you have to resort to armed conflict? The food they want is indeed not much for you." Purple Me, who heard these words, hurriedly told her to shut up and not speak out of turn. However, Zhang Jingjing continued to speak incessantly, as if she hadn't been interrupted. "Which character did I pronounce incorrectly? You've stockpiled so much food. Why not use the food to drive them away? If a fight breaks out later, I'll be the one standing in the front. Those of you standing in the back naturally have the luxury of being bystanders." As soon as these words were spoken, the people on the opposite side burst into laughter like pigs. They all expressed that this young girl is the most reasonable one. At this moment, Chen slowly walked up to Zhang Jingjing. Then he slapped Zhang Jingjing hard in the face with the back of his hand. "Who do you think you are? When is it your turn to speak here?" Fei Zhang, who witnessed the scene, quickly stepped forward and accused Chen of being brainless. "Which sentence did my daughter say wrong? Are you blind? Can't you see so many people across the street? Do you have to die if you give them some supplies with dozens of villas here filled with goods?" Although this amount of supplies may not mean much to Chen. But if he sets this precedent, he will surely become a target of public criticism. At this moment, Chen coldly remarked, "It seems that you two father and daughter are truly like wild wolves, who cannot be tamed. Is this the way you repay my life-saving grace? I will deal with you later." Chen then walked up to a young man and said, "You don't seem to be with him. Are you here to steal supplies too?" The young man quickly waved his hand and said, "Brother, please don't get me wrong. We just came here to see if there are any empty villas we can stay in. Since this is your territory, we will take our leave." And at this moment, the burly man was still arrogantly threatening Chen, demanding that he hand over the supplies quickly. But who knew that the next second, Chen actually condensed a spatial magic sphere. Then he turned around and instantly defeated this reckless thing. At this moment, Chen said coldly, "All team members, listen to my command. Wipe them all out for me." In Apocalypse, you only need a packet of peanuts to exchange for 50 kilograms of gold. A bucket of instant noodles can trigger a horrific and unprecedented murder case. And this man asked Chen to give him 10 tons of rice as soon as he opened his mouth. He also threatened that if he wasn't given, he couldn't guarantee what his brothers behind him would do. Seeing this, Chen did not indulge him either. He retaliated with a spatial magic orb and sent him to the netherworld. He then said coldly, "All team members follow my orders. Annihilate the enemy within 5 minutes." Zhang Jingjing and her father were shocked to hear this. They knew that the enemy outnumbered them at least 3 times. How dare this kid talk so arrogantly? Under Lily Me's leadership, the battle only lasted for 2.5 minutes. The opposing group of miscellaneous soldiers then collectively took away their box meals. At this moment, Zhang Jingjing and her father suddenly realized. No wonder he was so tough just now. So that's where his confidence comes from. Then Zhang Jingjing crawled up to Lu Chen like a dog, begging for mercy. She expressed that she was just too scared a moment ago. That's why she said those nonsensical things. Please don't kill me. Out of respect for Purple Me, Lu Chen didn't take extreme actions. He just said that my place is small and cannot accommodate you two big figures. Disappear from my sight quickly before I change my mind. Upon seeing this, Zhang Jingjing quickly shouted, Purple Me, please help me talk. I don't want to leave. When Purple Me refused to speak up, Zhang Jingjing threatened sternly. Purple Me, you just wait and see. Aren't you just relying on someone powerful? One day when I do the same, you will regret it. As soon as these words came out, Luke Chen immediately kicked Thunder King. Luke signaled it not to leave any future trouble for everyone. The next second, Thunder King immediately caught up with the father and daughter pair, as if he understood their intentions perfectly. At the same time, on the other side, the young man who had just shown good judgment returned and found Luke Chen again. Hello, my name is Donlight Lung. I wonder if Brother Chen is still recruiting people on your end. We all want to join your force. He then handed a crystal the size of a chicken egg to Luke Chen. Seeing this, Luke Chen immediately took the crystal and carefully observed it. He was pleasantly surprised to discover that it was actually a level 6 crystal. So he quickly asked where this thing came from. Upon hearing this, Donlight Lung smiled faintly. Crystal is something I found on a giant monster's body named S. Consider this as a gift I'm giving to you. I hope you can accommodate us. This made Luke Chen burst into laughter. He secretly thought that with this crystal, he was not far from reaching level 5 himself. Originally, he estimated that it would take at least a month to advance. It seems that now it will be more like 3 to 5 days. So Luke Chen immediately said, Seeing your sincerity, I agree to let you join. But you must abide by the rules here. Guangchen, can you explain to him? Upon hearing this, Guangchen immediately started explaining to him. In fact, the rules here are very simple. First, absolute obedience to Brother Chen's orders. Second, no mercy for those who retreat during battle. Donlight Ling hurriedly reassured him that there is not a single person here who is afraid of death. Luke Chen then took crystal and prepared to go home to absorb it. But he found the Thunder King suddenly ran towards him, wagging its tail. Then it indicated that I had permanently cut off future troubles. Do you think I should add a chicken leg for myself later? The most frightening thing in the apocalypse isn't zombies. It's the human heart where good and evil are hard to distinguish. Just because this woman is unwilling to give up the supplies she worked hard to find. These animals are no better than pigs and dogs. They actually beat the girl to death in public. It just happened recently. Luke Chen wanted to train the newly joined members. So he told Cloud Shu to take them out for some training. Later, everyone, led by Cloud Shu, arrived at a residential area. Before entering the residential area, Cloud Shu ordered the team to split into groups of 4 to search the area. In case of emergencies, they should use walkie-talkies to stay in contact. But who knew that everyone had just started to move? A fleet of vehicles drove into the residential area in a grand manner. Upon seeing the situation, Cloud Shu immediately notified everyone to stop the search. All members, please gather over by the heavy truck area immediately. However, as soon as the words fell, a group of members were unfortunately surrounded by the convoy that had just arrived. This group of people noticed the girl's beauty and evil thoughts arose. They even threatened to not only rob money, but also assault the girl. Just as the two men were about to approach and commit misconduct, the girl directly used a move to break the leg of one of the men, instantly disabling him. At this moment, the leader Little Gargas on the opposite side shouted angrily, "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and disable them!" Immediately, dozens of fierce-looking individuals surrounded everyone menacingly. When Cloud Shu arrived, the girl was already lying in a pool of blood. Cloud Shu saw a few people still preparing to attack the other teammates. An ice arrow brushed through one person's head all at once. At this moment, Cloud Shu coldly said, "Quickly release them, otherwise, don't blame me for going on a killing spree." But unexpectedly, a man in glasses suddenly walked out from the opposite side. He then shouted in a bold manner, "I want to see how capable you really are." He then used earth shields to protect his henchmen behind him as he spoke. But the next second, an ice arrow pierced through his shield. The man was suddenly shocked and lost his color. He didn't expect this woman to be so strong. Seeing that the other party's people and horses had already gathered, the man in glasses immediately ordered his subordinates to release the person quickly. But unexpectedly, Li Yin had already stopped breathing. Although Cloud Shu's heart was filled with the desire to destroy them at this moment, she knew it was not the time to act impulsively. The enemy's numbers were at least twice as many as ours. Engaging in a fight would only lead to unnecessary casualties. Thinking about this, Cloud Shu, tears in her eyes, ordered all team members to retreat. She muttered, "You guys wait for me. I'll go back and bring reinforcements." And at this moment, the man who killed Li Yin was still shouting that people could leave. But this heavy truck must stay. Cloud Shu and the others left without looking back. The man quickly asked the boss why they were allowed to leave. But the boss did not respond until he finished speaking. The man with glasses slapped him across the face. King have no brains. Didn't you see her ice arrow piercing through my earth escape just now? If we really fight, no one will gain any advantage. And at this moment, Cloud Shu has also returned to the base. Then she told Chen the whole story. Upon hearing this, Chen did not blame her. Instead, he said, "You did well. You weren't blinded by hatred and came back to tell me about it as soon as possible. Since you chose to be with me, I will absolutely not tolerate anyone bullying you." He immediately informed all members of the base to assemble. "I want to see who's the brave one. Anyone who dares to touch Chen today, blood debts must be repaid with blood." The man is the dominant master of the apocalypse in this area. He not only hoarded billions of supplies, but also built up his own power. He also recruited a group of strong individuals as his followers. But this group of reckless individuals actually stole a truckload of supplies from him. They even publicly killed one of his subordinates. After learning of the situation, Chen immediately summoned all his men. He vowed to seek justice for his fallen brother. As Chen raised his arm, the crowd roared in unison, "Blood debts must be repaid with blood." Shortly after that, Chen arrived aggressively with his men at the scene of the incident. Guided by Cloud Shu, they quickly found those reckless fellows. The man in glasses who witnessed the scene was suddenly shocked and lost color. He didn't expect the other party to show up at the door so quickly. At this moment, Chen coldly said, "I heard you guys are quite arrogant. Not only did you steal my goods, but you also killed one of my men. Who gave you the courage? Was it Jingru Liang who sang the song, Courage?" As soon as the man with glasses heard this, he quickly said, "Brother, calm down first. It's all our fault. I will have my younger brother bring your heavy cart over. How about compensating you with 1,000 kilograms of rice?" Chen did not respond to this. Instead, he indifferently said, "So you're saying a human life is only worth 1,000 kilograms of rice, right? I will give you 100 tons of rice now. How about buying all your lives?" Although these words are very arrogant, when the man in glasses saw the woman whose strength surpassed his own, he behaved respectfully towards this man. He became more certain that this person must have the capital to back up his arrogance. So he immediately turned to the henchman who caused the accident and said, "Little Black, this whole thing is because of you. Can't let your brothers take the blame for you." He then had his henchman take him to Chen. But who knew this Little Black was quite loyal. He immediately told Chen that San Zhang and Si Li were also involved. And those two guys fought even more fiercely than me. "Big brother, please spare my life for being so honest." Upon hearing this, Chen immediately glared fiercely at the man with glasses. Then he shouted, "Burr San Zhang and Si Li!" This scared him quite a bit. He immediately ordered his subordinates to bring the person over to him. Seeing the situation, Chen didn't treat him politely. He quickly shouted for a few brothers, who hadn't washed their feet in 2.5 years, to come over. Use your shoes to whip them hard for me. Whip them to death. As soon as the words fell, several brothers, who never washed their feet, rushed up. After a clang of slap sounds, those individuals were instantly slapped into pig heads. In order to help everyone vent their frustrations, Chen called Ling Wang to heal them. The brothers behind are still not feeling relieved. We can't let them die like this. But just at this moment, Cloud Shoe suddenly walked over with a wooden board spiked with nails, indicating that I should take revenge on those bastards for Li Yin. Immediately, a horrific howl that chilled the soul resounded through the sky. To their surprise, they only drew 2.5 minutes. Several of them immediately felt bitter disappointment. The man with glasses who witnessed this scene was instantly covered in cold sweat. He never expected that this woman would be so merciless. He immediately stated, "Since the perpetrator has already received the appropriate punishment, shouldn't we consider our grievances settled?" But Chen coldly replied, "Do you think you can just get rid of me with these few tricks? There is no such good thing in the world. Today, all of you must pay the price for Li Yan's death." The man in glasses quickly shouted, "Are you still unreasonable?" But Chen said coldly, "Now you know you need to be reasonable, right? When you stole my supplies and killed my men, did you act reasonably at that time? If it weren't for me bringing so many people for revenge today, would you still reason with me? Therefore, you must die today." Men are invincible creatures in the apocalypse. He not only awakened an extremely rare spatial ability, he also recruited a group of powerful individuals to form his own force. But these arrogant fools actually publicly killed one of his subordinates and looted a truckload of supplies from them. Although Chen immediately sent the perpetrator to the underworld, but he did not plan to let go of these scum. At this time, the leader with glasses loudly scolded, "Do you still have no sense of reason? I have already handed over the troublemakers to you for disposal. What else do you want now? You really think we're afraid of you? My brothers here are all experienced level 1 ability users, and there are more of us than you. Be smart and get lost. Don't force us to take action.